All right, guys, welcome back to Remotely Wasted. This is our Week 10 college football episode. We've had a lot of interesting things happen in the past few hours. We've got the playoff rankings just came out yesterday. We have, Alex Grinch doesn't have a job anymore. The Big Ten's getting really interesting with this Michigan controversy. Now it's like Michigan's accusing Ohio State and some other teams of cheating too. So we got a lot to dive in here.
Yep.
Normally, what we do is we normally start from the bottom. But the past couple of weeks, since we're into the playoff rankings, we're starting off with the rankings. We're giving our personal rankings, and then we're reacting to what the committee put out. Let us know in the comments what your top six is, and what you agree with us on and what you disagree with us on. Um, the rankings didn't change in the top six
Surprisingly,
at all. Like nothing changed at all.
I
So
changed
I
mine.
guess I changed mine too. Who do
Yeah,
you have at number six?
I've Oregon at 6 still. Because I mean, it's basically Oregon, Texas, Bama, pretty much for that 6th spot. I mean, there is those other one loss teams there, but I mean, they haven't really shown anything to you know really say that they deserve that 6th spot. I mean, Texas has the win over Bama, so I mean, you would have to probably put them over them. I would say Oregon has the best loss to Washington, which they barely lost. So that's why I got them there. But they do look really good. They're getting better.
Yeah, there's a huge debate going on over 6, 7, and 8 right now. Uh,
I
Greg
think they have it perfect right there.
Greg McElroy went on this like rant yesterday when I watched the show and they announced the rankings, and he had me sold. I was like,
I
you know
I
what?
I
I'm kind of
would I
mad.
will say Alabama is better than Texas right now. So like if you going off eye test as well, Alabama should be over Texas, and you could debate it them being over Oregon. Like the Texas loss isn't that bad because they're right there too. Um, just Oregon also looks really good too, so it's hard to distinguish like Oregon and Bama. Like I don't even know who would win if they played each other like today.
Yeah,
It would be a very good game.
Greg McElroy went on this rant saying like Oregon doesn't have a single really good win on their resume, and I was like, you're actually right, and it's actually kind of annoying that we're just giving this sixth spot to Oregon.
Utah, that's probably their best one.
That's their only win with a team above 500. I didn't know Washington State dropped below 500, but I guess they did in the past few weeks.
They started off so hot and they fell off. I mean, they got a USC team that's now they got 3 losses. That's not going to be a huge win for them, but that is a very high powered offense, so it's going to be tough. Um, Arizona State, they only got 2 wins, but it's still a sneaky trap team, even though they just got blown out this week by Utah.
Yeah.
And then Oregon State is actually pretty solid. That's
Rivalry
very solid.
rivalry game. I think if they're gonna
Yeah.
lose one in the regular season, it's gonna be that one.
I
Uh,
could see USC beating them. It could be just like that Washington game from this past week. Whoever's got the ball last, whoever makes one mistake. I mean, USC really didn't make any mistakes on offense, but
Aside from that, Caleb Williams fumble, that was
yeah.
really that was the difference maker. That one play.
Well, I mean,
Um,
Washington had a turnover too, so that kind of
I think Oregon will
balances
have
out.
a better game than Washington, just because I think
Oregon's
they have
defense
they
is
have a way better defense than Washington.
yeah.
Um, but like, can their offense compete with Caleb Williams and that offense? That's the question. So I'm on a hot take this week. So if you got
Nick's
if you
Nick's
got if you guys like hot takes,
he's coming in
uh,
hot. He's mad.
I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of people just in my rankings. So six, I got Michigan. They haven't played anybody.
No.
And this is the hot take because I have them at six.
I would have put
Uh,
Michigan in there too, but they are undefeated, so it's like that's yeah. I don't like the idea of putting like especially a Power 5 school in a big conference. Like they are playing semi good teams ish. But it's just like it would leave a bad taste in my mouth putting in a one loss team over an undefeated team at this point in the season.
yeah,
But
no, I definitely understand that way of
yeah,
thinking, but then I'm like, okay, so if Alabama scheduled Alabama State week 2 instead of Texas, Alabama's a top, like they're getting punished for trying to play a better schedule.
Alabama would be number one right now.
That's what I'm like you're getting punished for having a stronger schedule, and Michigan's getting rewarded for scheduling absolutely nobody in
Yep.
their non-conference schedule. So I guess that'll take us up to number 5. Who do you have at number 5?
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay, yeah, you don't even have Michigan in the top 4. Yeah,
Fuck no.
Michigan fans are gonna love us on this episode.
We're usually semi high on Michigan, but I mean, not this year. There's nothing to see so far. There's no good sample from their schedule. Like, I mean, Rutgers is okay. They gave Ohio State a pretty big scare, and that's probably it.
Yeah, that's just about it. Now I will say this about Michigan: they win against Penn State, and they win convincingly.
They're probably going to.
They're probably gonna be my number 1 if they beat them by like 2 to 3 scores.
Somehow, Penn State is one of the only teams in the country with a top 10 offense, or maybe top 5. It might be top 5 offense and defense.
Drew Aller had a great game this past weekend.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but I'm still standing by. They have the like the 3rd worst offense in the top 25.
That's
like their offense is better than Iowa. Probably better than K-State. I don't know, maybe not even better than Tulane, but everybody else probably better offense.
Yeah, I mean you could argue Utah on certain days has a worse offense.
Just the fucking Pins.
You don't know what you're getting with Utah. They could score 40, they could score 16. 7. You don't know what that
something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they might be 4. It's yeah. Utah might be down there with them, but that offense fucking sucks. But they look at who they've played. West Virginia, no defense. Delaware, that's like a D2 school. Illinois, okay, that's a good. In Iowa, 30 and 31, like that's solid points against good defenses. But like the 12 against Ohio State is really the thing for me. That I don't know. That one game is why I'm like, that offense is so bad. They were like 1 for like 16 on 3rd down. That defense, that Ohio State defense is not that good. They're good, but not that good.
They're pretty good. I mean,
yeah, they're pretty good, but not that good. Like,
this is Penn State's opportunity to prove
Rutgers themselves. Was running all over them.
They were. Penn State, I honestly, like, if you would ask me a couple weeks ago before like the scheduled time was announced, I would have said Penn State wins this game. But with it being 11 a.m., it kind of takes out the whole whiteout nighttime crazy factor.
It should be a primetime game.
It should be. It should be like a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock game. It shouldn't be an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Is game day here?
Game day, I probably so. I haven't heard anything else.
I don't know any other crazy big matchups. Who's Bama play this week?
Bama, I'm not sure who Bama has. I know Ole Miss has Georgia, I believe. Yeah. So that could be potentially be where they are. But as far as I know, I believe it's in Penn State, Michigan.
It should be, but it could be Ole Miss, Georgia. That'd be I guess a good pick. Whatever. Number 4, who do you have?
So for 5, I have Alabama.
Okay.
That's who I put above Michigan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to skip you.
I debated, putting like, okay, do I want to put Texas above because they have the head-to-head win on Alabama? And that's a fair argument. I think if anybody like says like they'd rather have Texas above Alabama because they won head-to-head, I think that's completely fair. But Alabama has a win over Ole Miss, ranked 9, Tennessee, ranked 13, and LSU, ranked 19. In comparison to Texas's only big win is Alabama, and that's it. And I mean K-State 25. Yeah. So I mean that's not too bad. And Kansas. So I mean they got a pretty good resume themselves. They're pretty comparable.
It's close.
But I think just the way Alabama looked against LSU, I know Jaden Daniels got hurt towards the end of the game, but he was there for
They
most of
was
the game.
already down by like 2 scores at that point.
Yeah, Alabama seems like they have it figured out
They do.
on both sides of the ball. I mean, you're not going to stop Jaden Daniels, so they allowed I think it was like 28 points from LSU, which that's pretty good when you
That's fun.
consider the fact of who you're facing and how good that offense is.
That defense is
Milrow looks more
fucking terrible.
comfortable. Milrow rushed for like 4
Yeah,
touchdowns.
he did.
So I
It's
mean, he's kind of coming into his own. He knows his like
it's
comfort
a
zone, what to do.
it's becoming a scary team to play. I'm hoping Ole Miss can somebody please stop
They
them before it's too late.
Ole Miss already lost to Bama, so I think I
Or
don't
no,
even know.
not Ole Miss. Sorry. We want Ole Miss to beat Georgia. Who does Bama play this weekend?
Does Bama even have anybody like that could beat them left?
Nope,
Auburn, Iron Bowl. That's the only
no
one that would make.
chance.
I mean, it's a
No
rivalry
chance.
game. It's a
It's
rivalry
it's
game.
Bama, Georgia, SEC champs already locked in.
Yeah, that's gonna become an interesting conversation, especially if Bama beats Georgia, and that's
One
Georgia's only loss. Like, who do you let in at
one of
that
them's not
point?
getting in if there's 3 other undefeated teams.
Yeah, I don't
If there's 4 undefeated teams left, neither of them might get in, which would be crazy.
like. It looks like all these teams are gonna go undefeated, but
Well, I guess
my
there
guts tell me
can't be
somebody's gonna
4.
lose.
It's like one of these two is going to lose, so there'll be one, maybe two, oh, 2, 3. Yeah, there would only be like 3 teams: of Florida State, Washington, and the winner of Ohio State, Michigan. So there's more than likely going to be a one loss. So it's going to be the loser of Ohio State, Michigan, and potentially a one loss Georgia and Bama, which is going to be that's 4 teams you have to pick to put in a one game, like one slot.
Yeah, and then if you have Oregon beating Washington, that makes things even
That's
more
that's
interesting.
5 one. That's like 6 tough one loss teams. That'd be
It's like
crazy.
who do you pick? You're probably just gonna go with the conference champs, and then
Yeah, fuck it. You didn't win your conference
somebody's
champion.
just getting left out. I don't know who it's gonna be.
That's what you
I
get for
mean,
not winning, I guess.
actually, Michigan, the loser of Michigan, Ohio State, probably not getting in.
If it's
If it,
Michigan, probably definitely not with all the scandal. That's just a good excuse for them to be left out.
yeah, and then on top of that, you have
Their strength of schedule.
their strength of schedule, and then if Georgia loses, they're probably not getting in because at that point, you're gonna have a one loss, and this is just saying everything just goes out the way it's like favorited at the moment. Like let's say Texas wins out, you got a one loss Big 12 champion Texas, they're gonna get in over a one loss not champion Georgia
Georgia. They should,
or
yeah.
yeah Michigan Ohio State. So look like it's probably gonna be Pac-12 champ, uh Texas, Florida State, Big Ten champ, or I guess Bama too. I don't know. It's gonna be
It's gonna
tough.
be weird.
It's
Yeah, if
gonna be
if
tough.
Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, there might not be an SEC team in the playoff, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point, do you let Oregon in or do you let Bama in?
Probably Bama. They have the better schedule.
Well, I mean,
But
the way the committee's looking at it right now, they're saying Oregon's better. Like that's how they're viewing it.
yeah, yeah, right now.
Let's see.
4.
I got Washington at 4.
I got Florida State at 4.
Hmm. There's the struggles on against Pitt.
We've got like 3 struggles on our schedule, and Washington's schedule just keeps getting better. That Arizona narrow win looks absolutely amazing right now. Uh, they just beat USC on the road. They beat Oregon. Um, yeah, that's pretty. They get a good resume. They look unstoppable.
See, I kind of took the USC the opposite way. I think USC made their defense look
Oh yeah,
awful.
but that offense is insane. Like look at the points that USC puts up every week. It's their defense that loses them the games, but Washington's offense finds the ways to overcome the defensive struggles. Like yeah, their
Yeah.
defense is not good, not good at all. That D line is kind of trash. They just look slow. They can't stop the run. Caleb Williams was absolutely magical in that game.
No, he had a great
So
game.
you can't really even discredit Washington. Like the dude was on fire. Washington Caleb Williams was on fire. He was Houdini out there. He's spinning people out on the sidelines. Like what? It's a quarterback. And he was the balls he was throwing. Crazy. I'm not even faulting Washington's defense for giving up that many points.
I know this isn't true, but I mean, like in that game, Washington's defense almost looked just as bad as USC's defense. I mean, that could just be a testament to how good USC's offense is. But
Well, USC has one of the best offenses in the country.
like
Like they do that to everybody.
that was just one of those games. It was like, okay, whoever has the ball is going to score.
Yeah.
And then it
Like
came down to Caleb Williams' fumble pretty much lost the game
this was my
for
game of the week, by
USC.
the way.
Let's see, was that mine?
Like they've scored over
No.
over 30 every game. They that close loss to Utah, which Utah's their kryptonite. That Notre Dame game's weird. It's weird. That's a weird outlier. That's really bad. But every other game, like they're 40, 50, 52, 43, 48, 42, 56, 66, 56. They score a lot. It's just their defense doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and then, I
And the
mean,
offense is on the field a lot. So like, if it's hard to keep that momentum up, especially in the end of the game when your defense is letting up all these scores, letting the teams come back on you. It's a little demoralizing.
well, it's like
It's hard to go back out there like, fuck, we just
USC
scored,
knows they're
man.
gonna get scored on. Like the
Yeah.
offense knows, like we're about to get scored on, so we got to go down and score again.
The receivers are running a lot of routes. Running backs are carrying the ball a lot. Caleb Williams is running a lot. Like he looked fucking gassed at the end of that game. Like,
I honestly felt bad for him. Alex Grinch got fired, obviously, and I was thinking like when Caleb Williams was like in the stands crying, I was like, Alex Grinch like ruined this man's USC career basically.
yeah, he did. I don't know why he did that. That was I feel like that was a publicity stunt. Like
It
do
could
that shit.
have been.
Do that shit afterwards. Like go to the locker room. Go cry in the locker room.
I'm not gonna
Like
roast him for it. Like a lot of people are like roasting him, and like
I feel bad for him too, but like, come on, man.
people are like, "Oh, he's a crybaby." I'm like, "Yeah, like y'all have never cried over anything."
Oh
Like,
yeah, I cried when we won the national championship. You know what I mean? So like, and I don't even play on the team.
imagine
So
having the game he just had, and he still lost.
fucking
I
exhausting.
did everything I could possibly do, and we still lost.
He's been doing it all year too.
You'd probably cry too if you're just like, "Wow, I could have had a Heisman."
Yeah, but I wouldn't have went up in the stands and like cried to my mom. You know what I mean? I would have
I
went to
mean,
the
like
lot.
I probably wouldn't have either, but I
I would have went
mean,
to the locker room and cried with my boys, or went and hopped in the shower and cried by myself. But you know, it seems a little soft. I feel like I don't know if he's doing this shit intentionally, trying to tank his draft stock a little bit, because it's just slight little things that keep kind of popping up, like him, like, oh, I want majority ownership in the team that drafts. Who the fuck said? Nobody says that. Like that just makes you look bad. Like he's probably colluding with somebody that's like, what can we do to tank my stock a little bit, but not as like a performer. You know what I mean? Like I still have the skills. I'm that guy. I'm the best player in college football, but like there's these other things going on, but not like legal issues or something drastic. It's just it seems like it's all kind of adding up, and it's kind of weird.
yeah, no, it kind of does seem like
You
he's
know what I mean?
maybe trying to scare some teams away from.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. The nail painting. Man, people don't like that nowadays. It's people find it weird. I mean, I don't give a shit, but whatever. Um, I don't know.
If I was a USC fan, I'd probably think it's pretty cool. Like, oh, you put "fuck Utah" on his
Yeah, yeah,
nails.
that would
Like,
be fucking sick. Like, yeah, fuck you, Utah. But like everybody else is like, just wear a shirt, like fucking George Kittle did. Fuck Dallas, you know what I mean? Do something like that.
yeah, it was real subtle, and I guess kind of passive aggressive. But yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, Washington, I have them at 4, but I mean, they're looking good. That offense is looking good. Michael Penix. I mean, we'll get to him in when we get to our Heisman stuff. But I mean, he's having a great season. So we could go to number
yeah,
3, and that's where I put Ohio State after that struggle against
yeah,
Rutgers.
I have them at 3 as well.
They didn't look good most of that game, and honestly, had Rutgers not thrown that interception to start the second half, I think that
Yeah,
game could have gone way differently.
yeah, that really took all the momentum out of the game. I almost put FSU at 3. I was really tossing around. I don't know. really why I went the way I did. It just I don't know. I guess I'm just still just overcritical of my team. But we have a reason why we didn't play that well this past weekend, so it is what it is. But yeah, they did look really not good. I mean, contrary to the stat line from Kyle McCord, he played pretty bad. He's gonna cost them a game at some point. Like that interception he threw was really bad. Uh, you could see the linebacker. He's right there. It's not like the dude was like coming out of his, line of vision. Like the dude's right there. He just basically threw it right to him almost.
Yeah, he's a few weeks in a row of doing that
Yeah.
in close games, and he
Even
just
Ohio State fans aren't sold on him. Like he's not the guy this year. Like maybe next year he'll get better, but you have the best receiver in college football. Marvin Harrison was pretty much non-existent that entire game. Like he got 2 touchdowns, but he didn't really have a whole lot of production other than that. They really just had to run the ball, and I don't know. And then Ohio State's defense didn't look as good as everybody thought they was gonna be.
Ohio State's a weird team because like some weeks I'm like, okay, this team looks like they could easily win
They
a
can,
championship.
yeah,
And then there's games like this where I'm like, how do they beat Michigan
yeah.
like
They're
this?
not beating Michigan if they play like that. They're getting absolutely stomped.
They're just a real confusing team. I had him at number 1 for a few weeks. I
It's
moved
fucking
him down to
annoying.
number 3 after
Yeah,
and they stayed at number 1 in the playoff rankings, which I thought was
somehow Georgia should be back to number one.
yeah, absolutely. I was like, okay, we're that's what they want to go with. That's fine. So at number 2, I went with Florida State. The reason I didn't move them down is because they were missing their top 2 receivers. They still won by 17.
Yeah,
Defense played pretty good. There was that near touchdown where there's a strip
that was one of the
fumble.
craziest plays I've seen. That might be like defensive play of the year.
That was a great play.
But granted, that motherfucker been getting cooked all year. I'm sick of Benchell Cypress. That dude, he was the number one quarterback transfer in the offseason. He is not the number one quarterback transfer. The dude's trash. It was a good play. I'll give him his credit. It was a fantastic play. He didn't give up.
That was one of the
But
best plays I've seen all year, especially on the defensive end. Yeah,
yeah,
like you said, it could be defensive player of the year.
and that's just kind of like the way that our culture is, and the way we bring the teams being coached. They don't give up compared to in the past, where he probably would have just started jogging and let him take it to the house. But yeah, that dude he's a liability. He gets cooked every game.
Also, I don't think you'd be missing your top 2 receivers if this was not Pitt that you're playing.
No,
Like I feel like this was the game where like, okay, you guys rest, get healthy,
yeah, and
going into some better games.
it didn't really work out that well for us for a little while there. I was scared. I was very scared. I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is a 2-win team that just got their shit blown out by Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's getting the shit beat out of them by Clemson, who we beat. So like, what the fuck are we doing? But there's not that many teams in college football. If you take their 2 best receivers, that they're gonna perform. It's a huge handicap.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
take Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other guy, I can't remember his name off
like
the top of my head.
Buka.
Yeah, take them both out and see how Kyle McCord does like in that game. He's
Yeah,
barely getting the job done with them in the game. Like
and they knew we was just gonna try to run the ball, and they stacked the box and was like, "Come on with it," and we couldn't do it. This is another week I'm gonna shit on the line. Like pass protection wise, solid. Jordan Travis was protected the whole game. I don't think they gave up very many pressures at all. So cool. But running wise, they couldn't do nothing, not a thing. Uh, but it's not really their fault.
yeah. So I'm assuming you went with Washington at number 2 then?
Yeah, I guess I'm just higher on them than most people are. They look unstoppable.
I'm higher than the committee is.
They
But
that offense is unstoppable. I've not seen one defense in college football that can stop that offense and also score to compete with it.
yeah, I mean there's
You
been
might stop them
teams.
one. It's Penix that's gonna stop them because he
Yeah,
does
like
throw the occasional interception. He's got like 7 now on the year, I think.
yeah, Arizona State was the only team that really did a really good job of stopping them, and they just didn't have the offense
Yeah.
to
Like,
finish them off.
you know,
And that was just a bad day from Washington's offense. I think they're going to
like
be really really tough to stop down the stretch.
absolutely.
And who does Washington have this weekend? Is it Utah? I believe they're playing. Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
it's Utah.
it's Utah.
So I mean, I think I don't see. I mean, Utah does have a very good defense.
They do. It's doable. I would be, especially after that big game that they just played, high energy, you know, the fucking sold out Coliseum. I think on the road, Dylan Johnson was running like his life depended on it. So are they gonna be 100% for this game? Who knows? The receivers ran a lot of routes.
To me, it just depends on what version of Utah's offense
Yeah,
shows. Because
exactly.
like Utah's offense can be terrible, but they can also be like great. Like Barnes, like he just threw 4 touchdowns this past weekend, and the
Yeah.
running back rushed for like 100 some yards. So I'm like, okay, if they just like mix the ball up, they get Sione Vaki in there doing all kinds of different things. And Washington's defense isn't amazing. Like, could they
No,
pull
they're
off the
not.
upset?
Uh,
I really just think Washington's gonna win this. Just because of how that offense, how in sync that offense was, and now
it
they
would
got the running game going pretty
it
good.
would take a catastrophic offensive performance from Washington, like Penix throwing 2 interceptions, a fumble from a running back, a receiver recovered by the defense, something like that. A couple turnovers, maybe
Yeah,
a punt return, kickoff return touchdown for Utah, something to swing the momentum. I just don't see it. I'm not even close.
yeah, like you said,
I'm not
it would take some type of
not
catastrophic,
even.
like they just turn the ball over like the first 2 drives or
Yeah,
something.
it wouldn't even have to be like one turnover. It'd have to be more than one. This isn't that, one turnover, stop them once and you can win type of game. They're gonna stop them a couple times because they don't have USC's offense.
Absolutely not. So it sounds like we both went Georgia number
Yeah,
one, which this was what I was like waiting to see from Georgia before I
yeah.
gave them that number one spot. And Missouri's a really good team. They played them very close. And
It,
then winning that game, I was like, that's an impressive win in my book. And
it was a
they're
good win.
like they're the defending champs. You got to give them leeway. They've won like I don't even know how many games in a row at this point, like 28 or 29, something crazy like that.
Yeah, they're pushing 30.
So I'm like, they're just unstoppable. Like, who's gonna beat them? Can Ole Miss beat them this weekend? I doubt it.
Eh,
I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know. They just almost lost to Texas A&M.
Yeah, and I'll get into A&M because that's another big storyline. Is like from what I'm reading, it seems like it's almost a foregone conclusion that Jimbo is out of there at the end of the year.
Yeah,
There's no saving him. Like from what I'm reading, like
has to be.
the fans are done with them. It sounds like Jimbo hardly even wants to be there anymore.
They've lost what, 5 games now? They have to win that. I don't even think they can make the bowl game.
I think they
Um,
could make a bowl game, but it's like
Not with their schedule. I think we
from what I'm reading, like even if A&M wins the rest of the way, but
what do they
they're
got?
not gonna.
Oh,
They're not,
yeah, they can win these 2 games. Never mind.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so they just need one more win.
And
They'll win
then
against Albert Christian. So,
we hope.
but I was reading like even if they beat LSU at the end of the year, that's still not going to be enough to convince anybody because they beat LSU last year and it really didn't mean anything.
Even if
So
they
it's
win
like,
out, they'd have 8 wins.
and that's not what Jimbo was brought in there for, especially not in like a year 7 or whatever this is.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah, we'll get more into that. So I guess we could transition into our Heisman top 5. I've got more hot takes when we get here. Who do you got at number 5? Okay, I got him a little higher.
yeah. He arguably could be higher.
And this is
Um,
Ollie Gordon for those who are like listening and not watching.
yeah, Oklahoma State's running back. He could be higher. I just Yeah, I think the furthest I'd put him would be 4. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to double read look at the stats, but he's the dude's cooking. He's on fire. He got hurt in this game against OU like twice. Still came back
I,
out there.
he
Like
might have got hurt like more than that. Like he just like was getting hurt. It seemed like every play, but he was just like, all right, I'm coming back out.
and, and even with the stat line, they do carry the ball 33 times, 138, 2 touchdowns, and 1 reception, no fumbles. So like that's a really impressive stat line, and I don't even think they won the game because of him. Like, yeah, because he was getting shut down a little bit. Um, that he just accumulated 138 by just running into a wall like over and over and over, and he'd get 8 yards here, 10 yards here, into the wall, into the wall, into the wall. Another good little gain. Uh, his long was
He
only 35. He didn't really he wasn't busting any crazy big runs. Like, yeah, 35 is pretty big. Um, so like
he
I'm
struck the
just talking
pose.
about
I don't know if he saw that after his last
no, I
touchdown.
didn't.
He struck the Heisman pose when he got in the
Uh,
end zone, and I was like, I was so mad during that
fuck.
game. But even in that moment, I was like, fair enough. I was
Yeah,
like, I
touche, touche.
respect it.
Yeah, the dude's going crazy. He's going crazy. If he keeps it up, I don't see why he couldn't win, but I think he would need a Michael Penix loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody needs a Michael Penix loss. He probably needs another Bo Nix loss.
Uh, JJ McCarthy is gonna be one.
Fucking Christ.
I
JJ
don't like. I
McCarthy's
don't
a
even have JJ.
bum.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
I
even
don't
have
have him in my 5
McCarthy in
either.
my top five.
I wouldn't even put him in my top 6.
But he's in JJ McCarthy's defense. He has taken care of the ball really well aside
Yeah.
from that Bowling Green game. And if he has a big game against Penn State, big game against Ohio State, I'm talking
If he
300-ish yards, 3 to 4 touchdowns in both those games.
he didn't
Maybe,
even throw a touchdown against Purdue.
yeah,
And he did have like it was like 360 passing yards, but it's fucking Purdue. They have like 2 wins, maybe 3. I don't know. Another trash ass team. But yeah, Ollie Gordon is absolutely insane. He's the best running back in college football. He's only a sophomore. I don't really have a knock on his game at all.
ever since they started playing him, they started winning.
Yeah, exactly. He's I mean, other than the Iowa State loss, but
And that was like his first game really getting a lot of touches.
yeah. So, but the only knock on him is they got 2 losses. That's really it. But I mean, Jaden Daniels now has 3 losses, but Jaden Daniels stat line is fucking insane. I don't know what his injury is or if he's gonna play anymore.
I haven't heard anything along the lines of him being out for the season or anything like that.
He probably just has like a concussion or something. He did get smacked pretty hard.
So I have a tie at 5. Speaking of Jaden Daniels, he's one of the people I've tied at 5. Even with this loss, I mean, his numbers are just out of this world.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like running all over Alabama's defense, and it just wasn't enough. Like, but I mean, like
No,
against any other team, that'd probably be like a winning performance right there.
it's because they don't have a defense. Like not an inkling of a defense.
He reminds me so much of Lamar Jackson, just how quick he is, like
It's
how
very
fast he moves,
shifty. Yeah.
and he's
Here's
so
the
like skinny.
here's
But
the
he's
bit number.
210, but he looks so skinny on the field.
He does. He looks small, which is weird. But his stat line's just insane. Like even getting hurt against Bama, he had 219, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 163 and a touchdown. Like that's fucking insane. Like all the big games he's had to go stupid crazy. Like Missouri ran for 130, ran for 64 against us. 99 in the Ole Miss loss. Threw for 414. So like he just catapults into another level in these games where it's on the line and like he's like, all right, fuck the defense, we're gonna just outscore the team, and it works the majority of the time for him, but god damn, that defense sucks.
I mean, what sucks about LSU and like their 3 losses are against ranked 4 Florida State, rank 9 Ole Miss and rank 8 Alabama. Like
Yeah.
these are great teams he's losing to. He hasn't lost to like some terrible team yet.
Yeah, some scrub team. Um, yeah, and then they had the 10-point win over Mizzou, and then everybody else is other than Arkansas, they've pretty much kind of blown out. And then Arkansas almost beat Bama. They just beat Florida. It's like Arkansas is not a bad. Their record's bad, but they're not a bad team.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Arkansas, I mean, they have the talent. It's like the coaching's not something's just off there.
Or
Like
KJ Jefferson.
AJ
Yeah.
Jefferson's a great quarterback.
I'd have transferred.
Rocket Sanders is a great running back. I'm not too sure about their receiver position, but I know last year like they had some good receivers and they still couldn't get it done. So yeah, Arkansas, they're another team where they're probably gonna be looking for a new coach at the end of the season.
As they
But
should.
second, I guess my second hot take of the episode.
Your fifth.
Type in this guy. His name is Caden Salter.
How do you spell it? Kaydon.
Kaidon.
Not even how I would have. Okay.
Liberty's quarterback. Now take a look at this guy's numbers. All right, pretty good. You know, almost 2,000, 23 passing touchdowns.
It's rushing yards, isn't it?
He's rushed for 7 touchdowns this season, so he has 30 total touchdowns on the season, along with 664 yards.
117.
And they're undefeated.
Yeah. If this was any other team, he'd be probably number 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not going to win the Heisman. He's not even going to get invited, even if he does this.
Which is crazy because Malik Willis was. Didn't he get invited?
I don't think he got invited, but
he was in the running. Like he might have finished like 5 or something like this.
He was definitely talked about.
But I think in that year, I think they had a better schedule. I feel like they beat Duke that year.
Yeah, they so that's kind of the knock on Liberty. Liberty doesn't have a single Power 5 team scheduled on their conference or in their schedule. Yeah. So that's kind of what's setting them back. I know I just wanted like give this guy a shout out because he's having a phenomenal season and I have heard nobody talking about it. I didn't even know until I looked into. So I was like, Liberty's undefeated. Let me take a look to see what they're doing. I'm like, let me look at this guy's stats. And then I see he has 30 total touchdowns. It's only 3 interceptions, 7th in QBR. He's having a phenomenal season.
I honestly never even heard of the kid.
He's a sophomore, so I mean
he looks familiar. I don't know why. He has like a familiar face.
If I was him, I'd be hopping in that portal at the end of the year.
Yeah, facts.
Put him on LSU or something like next year when Jane Daniels leaves. I bet he's in the Heisman conversation then.
He's like 3 inches shorter and like 10 pounds lighter. Similar stats. I'm sure they played pretty similar.
A lot of guys leaving. You know, Jordan Travis is leaving. I mean, there's a lot of spots for this guy to go to.
Facts. Yeah, there's a whole lot of spots. Yeah, that's a good stat line. I like it.
So I'm assuming you went with Jaden Daniels at 4.
Yeah, I would have him higher, but 3 losses. It's really hard to win the Heisman when you have more than 2. I don't even remember if any 3-loss team player. I guess other than Lamar, but I don't even. Did they have how many losses did they have?
I feel like they only had like 2, honestly.
Yeah, so. It just doesn't happen very often that a team with multiple losses and a player on that team wins the Heisman. It's not very often. It's usually a quarterback that's undefeated, leading their team to the playoffs or the BCS before the playoff. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people still have him like 2 and 3, which is cool. I'm for it. I wouldn't be mad if he won. The dude's insane. He's insane. He might be the second best player in college football.
Are you talking? Who's your number 1? Penix?
I still think Caleb Williams is the best.
Okay, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're going like purely
pure talent, no, not stats, just like pure package talent, Caleb Williams by far.
Yeah, I mean, he has the arm, he has the like intelligence, like football IQ. He could run. He could just make plays out of nothing. Yeah,
his ball security is a little lax, but that's just the way he plays.
Oh,
So I would say he could be the second best player in college football. I mean, I guess Marvin Harrison, but it's really hard to compare
yeah.
like quarterbacks to receivers. It's because quarterbacks are traditionally just valued more. Um,
Yeah.
and I would probably Penix after that, like Penix, Harrison, three somewhere in there, something like that. But
Yeah. So speaking of Marvin Harrison, that's who I went with at
yeah,
4. He's just week in and week out, just continuing to have,
I I
he's
probably
on the board.
I probably would have had him five, but Ollie Gordon's fucking going crazy. They just had that huge win this past weekend, so like it's I would wager his numbers compared to Harrison's numbers as a receiver is just better. Um,
Yeah,
it,
I would say so. I mean, I think
it's
the
just tough to compare, receivers to wide receivers. It's
and Ohio State's undefeated and rank
yeah,
1, so that also plays a factor into to everything. And Marvin Harrison's doing all this with a quarterback that at least I think me
it's
and you both
average.
think is not that great. You know,
He's okay. He's average.
but
Maybe
he's nothing like Stroud last year. Or,
no. Look at
not
Stroud right now. The motherfucker threw for like 400 yards in the last NFL game.
470 and 5 touchdowns.
That's
Right.
absolutely insane.
So
Absolutely
it's
insane.
a big drop off, and Marvin Harrison still managing to get it done with
Yeah.
a lesser quarterback. He's still a good quarterback, but just not a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, so number 3, who'd you go with? Jordan Travis.
I want to put him higher, but I, he's cooking. He's playing better. He's just getting better every week. It seems. I think he had 4 total touchdowns this week. Maybe no, he only had 2. He threw for 360, touchdown, no interceptions, and he ran for touchdowns. So he's adding on. He's got what 26 total touchdowns. I closed out Jaden Daniels. I was gonna look at his, but I guess we can compare him to fucking everybody else ahead of him. But he's playing insane. He's doing everything he needs to do. He's making good decisions. He just wants to win. He don't give a fuck about the Heisman. He really don't.
I mean, his yards are starting to get to the point where they're up there with all the people
Yep.
who are in the conversation. And then I mean, he has like 26 total touchdowns.
He threw for 360 without arguably 2 of the better receivers in college football.
Yeah.
I seen this stat. So on not about Keon Coleman because Keon Coleman's like rated like the number 2 receiver coming in the NFL draft behind Marvin Harrison. So if you're taking that logic, he's the second best receiver eligible for the draft in college football. It may be the second best receiver in college football. I don't know any other receivers that aren't eligible for the draft that would be better off the top of my head. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's having a really good year, but I can't think of them. And then I seen this thing about Johnny Wilson. I don't know how accurate it is, but when he gets in the NFL, he's going to be like I think either like the second tallest player in the NFL, like receiver, which
Mhm.
is crazy.
He's a tall motherfucker.
He's like 6'7", I think. Let me look.
Yeah, I just remember like in the Cheez It Bowl, I was like, none of our
Yeah,
DBs are gonna get up to that
he's
ball.
6'7".
Like,
And he's missed like 3 games this year, so that's his stat line's not it's not crazy. 415, 2 touchdowns, but he did have some catching issues earlier in the year, but he's got that ironed out. But he's been hurt. He's 6'7". Like how the fuck do you cover that? And he's fast. So he's in my opinion he's one of the better receivers in college football, like maybe top 15.
yeah, I mean, talent wise,
So
absolutely. I mean, his numbers, aren't all there this year just because, like you said, he's been hurt.
we threw for 360 with 2 of the best receivers, arguably in college football. Just I don't really know what else I can say. I mean, he didn't throw any more passing touchdowns. Like what do you want from him, man? Goddamn.
No, he's having a great season. He's actually who I have at number 2. I went with Ollie Gordon at number 3. Like, maybe
Yeah,
it's just like a little bit of a bias, just because like
a recency bias.
well, recency bias and just like I felt like me and you both are like it's nice to see somebody who's not a quarterback up in the conversation.
It is,
uh,
but it's hard to rate them over quarterbacks because it's traditionally a quarterback award. So it's like, how do you match them? You know, like 1,100 or almost 1,200 rushing yards to 2,500 passing yards. Like how does it equate? You know?
yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Ollie Gordon is like he's leading the country in rushing yards, so
Oh,
like
and
that's a thing right there. And then he's like, I think he's like second in rushing touchdowns at this point.
yeah,
So
and
you
then
can,
like the Heisman, it's also like a most valuable player award. You know, he's the most valuable player on that team. Ollie Gordon is the most valuable player on Oklahoma State's team by far.
he might
And
be the most important player to any team in college football if you just look at where they were before they started playing him, get them blown
yeah.
out by South Alabama, looking like we thought 3 to 4 win team,
Oh
and
yeah,
now
we was
they're
like
ranked 15.
they're done. They're not winning another game. I'm pretty sure we said that. It was before we even knew who that motherfucker was. And but the same can be said for a couple of these people up here. Like Jordan Travis is the most important player on our team
Yeah, I
by
mean you
far.
you, you
But
take you take him out. Florida
same,
State's not the same team.
same with Penix in Washington. Bo Nix. Maybe not Bo Nix. They could slot somebody else there and have same success. I think. Uh, who else did we just talk about? Jaden Daniels, same
Yeah,
thing.
I don't
It,
see
other than Malik Neighbors, but somebody's got to throw him the ball.
yeah.
So it's just really hard to weigh players up against each other out of position. Quarterbacks, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I mean for me it's just I don't it's I mean obviously we have Michael Penix at number 1. And like the way I view this thing is like Michael Penix just has to win out and he's guaranteed the
Yeah,
Heisman. But if he loses, that's when things get interesting because like Ollie
because
Gordon does this same thing for the next 3 games and maybe even 4 in the Big 12
yeah,
championship.
and then you'll
And then
have
Jordan Travis does this
JJ McCarthy
and JJ
probably
McCarthy. That's probably
potentially
gonna be your
undefeated.
top 3 if
Those
Penix
three.
loses. And then they
Fuck, I don't know. Penix still might be able to win it with a loss. It just depends like how much they lose by and like who. Like if they
yeah,
play Oregon again in the Pac-12 and they lose by like a field goal, uh, and he throws for like 400, like it's you can't really doubt like knock him for that.
no, you can't. And I mean, even last year we saw Caleb lose in the Pac-12 championship, and he still won the
Yeah,
Heisman. So I mean, you don't have
but
to win
there
your
wasn't really
conference.
anybody remotely close to him.
No, only Stroud, and Stroud didn't even get to play in a conference game.
And
So
that's kind of what
that
did
kind
it.
of eliminated it, and that could happen to McCarthy if
Yeah,
Ohio State beats Michigan. He's not playing in a conference championship game. He could just kiss that Heisman goodbye for him.
yeah, probably.
Because I mean, Jordan Travis is going to be in a conference championship game. Ollie Gordon most likely is going to be in one. Bo Nix is most likely going to be in one. So that's a big game for McCarthy in his Heisman chances is against Ohio State.
Yeah, I got Bo Nix too. Unfortunately, hot take, I guess. Uh, yeah, his
I mean,
stats are crazy.
he has great numbers. No, he has
Like
absolutely
compared to
phenomenal
Jordan,
numbers.
I mean, we'll just round that to 2,500 and 27. So he's got 200 more passing touchdowns, six more or 200 more passing yards, six more passing touchdowns, same interceptions, better QBR. Jordan has 7 rushing touchdowns. Bo Nix has 5, 116 rushing yards to 190. He's got 26 total touchdowns. Bo Nix has 30. But and then a really close loss to Washington. I would say we've played better teams, but it's hard to really compare. 'Cause they beat Utah. It's a good team. Barely lost to Washington, and then I guess that's really. I would say we probably have a better schedule, but I don't know. He looks really good. He looks really good.
No, he does look really good. I will say like I kind of have him in the same boat I have McCarthy right now. Like
Like that 6 range.
yeah, like I need to see you be a good team. I mean, yeah, Utah's a good team, but like Washington's a really good team, and that's the game he lost. Not that he
Yeah,
played bad in that game. I mean, he played pretty good in that game. But I'm just like I'm on the fence about him. Like obviously, if they win out, he's probably gonna be up there. He's probably gonna be at the ceremony. He might even have already locked his way into the ceremony at this point, as long as they don't lose. Just one of these random like they used to
yeah,
lose to like USC this week or something. Then
right.
he's definitely out. But yeah, I don't have him in my top five yet. But
I was
his stats are good. His stats are really
I
good.
was really tossing him and Jordan for 2 to 3. I guess I just didn't want to be a homer and put Jordan at 2. I guess I think I had him at 2 last week. 2 or 3
I feel like I've had Jordan Travis at two for at least
since we
like
beat
this is like
Duke.
the third. This is the third week I've had him since OU lost to Kansas because I had Dylan Gabriel at
Yeah,
two for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I moved Jordan Travis up, and he's Jordan Travis has been in my top three probably the whole season. No, I
yeah.
dropped him out like 1 week.
Yeah, we
There's like
dropped him
one
out
week.
1 week. I think it was after probably the Boston College or Virginia Tech game.
Yeah, and we're just like, let's drop him
Yeah,
out because there's just a lot of players doing really good at the
yeah.
moment.
The USC I think was undefeated still and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it could go either way for them too. The real knock is they've lost the game and we haven't. So I guess we'll just switch it. Fuck it. Fuck you, Bo Nix. You 40-year-old ass. Jordan Travis is now number 2. You've convinced me, Nick.
Every week I keep thinking like this is the top five. Every week I'm gonna be in my top five.
And
I'm like,
somebody else slips in and
and
slips
then
out.
like the next week it's like a completely new top five. Like Penix and Jordan Travis have been consistently in my list, and everybody else just keeps moving in and out.
Yeah. But Penix is a fucking 3,200 yards to 2,700 and 2,500. 26 passing touchdowns. So he's beaten both of them in just passing. He don't really run the ball a whole lot.
I don't think he has a single. Yeah, he
He's got
doesn't. He has
one, so
one.
he's got less total touchdowns than Bo Nix. More interceptions and a worse QBR, but god damn that boy throwing the ball.
I mean, the first he went 3 weeks in a row, 400 plus. Like that's crazy to me.
he's fucking cooking, man, and like his completion percentage is usually like really good. That's a little weird, but I mean, he still for 302 and 4 touchdowns. So like, yeah, fuck the completion percentage at that point. And then this game, yeah, same thing, 369, 4 touchdowns. Fuck the completion percentage.
A long of 92 against Stanford. Like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he just throws the ball. He's a gunslinger. He don't give a fuck. And some of the passes he throws, you're just like, what? Like that one that we was talking about where he was rolling out to his left. He was like right next to the sideline and just whoop.
That was
I
nuts.
was like, hey, yo. It's probably one of the better throws I've seen on the year. He's a lefty too. It just seems his throwing motion is weird. It's weird to me. I don't like it, but
No, I do like it because like I feel like
it's
lefties normally throw like a baseball or something, but he throws
yeah.
it almost like a right-handed guy. Like it's just really
It
quick.
just seems odd. It doesn't seem right to me. But it works every time he goes to just sling it deep. I'm like, oh, that's picked. Nope, right where he wants it. And I'm just like, it didn't look like it was gonna go that way. He's crazy. He's so good.
Yeah, like I'm just to the point where it's almost like give him his Heisman.
He deserves it.
But there's still like he could lose to Utah this weekend. Um, besides that, I mean, the only other game he could lose to is Oregon in the Pac-12 championship.
He can still win it
So,
then
and
if he
then
makes it
even
that
then,
far.
yeah, even then, it just depends. Like,
Is
but it
JJ
just
McCarthy undefeated?
yeah, it's JJ McCarthy
Ugh.
undefeated.
Let me look at his fucking stats compared to Penix. I we have to.
I mean, his stats are good. They're just not.
He's a
He's
thousand
got a
a
thousand less
thousand less
yards.
yards. So what did we say? He had 27 total touchdowns. He's got 18 and 21. So he's got 5 less touchdowns, a little bit less interceptions, and number 2 QBR. Like, get the fuck out of my face with JJ McCarthy. I hate his face. He looks like he's been punched a lot.
JJ McCarthy, man, he's
I don't know.
no, he looks like
I hate JJ McCarthy for no reason.
your typical fraternity brother
God, he's
at
probably
a
he's probably
college.
the coolest dude in the world too. Like he's probably super chill, but fuck, I hate him for no reason.
No, we give him a lot of shit, but I think he's a great
No,
quarterback.
he's good, but he has no business being at number one in the like, 05 at the highest on the high end. He's not even beating Jordan Travis. He's not beating Bo Nix. Granted, they're undefeated. Fucking goddamn, Ollie Gordon has half of his passing yards with his feet. Um, Jaden Daniels is blowing his ass out. Um,
Jaden Miller or Jalen Miller. I haven't really thought about his numbers. They're probably pretty decent.
okay, so he's 1,800. So he's a couple hundred short, a little less passing touchdowns. The
I mean, he just rushed
juices.
for he has 9 total rushing touchdowns.
So he's got
21.
22,
Yeah,
right?
20. Yeah, yeah, 22. Yeah.
So he's got like 4 less total touchdowns, and I mean, like, yeah, he's probably behind a lot of these dudes, but he's coming up. He's coming up quick. I really think it's just passing. I don't think he could win with just rushing, but I mean, Lamar did kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count Jalen Miller out of this race
If
just
they went out,
because, yeah, they went out
or
and he has a big game against Georgia or something. You gotta start looking at him, and it's really
yeah,
interesting because this man got benched week 2 or week 3. Week 3, this man was benched, and now look where he's at now.
which doesn't make sense because week 3 was it this week?
No, he got benched the USF game. Like he didn't even get to play. So
It's not, I don't know why it's not going back that far.
because he didn't get a snap, so there's no stats to
Oh,
record for him.
so it was before or after Texas?
It was after Texas, so between Texas and Ole Miss was the USF game.
I guess probably because he threw 2 interceptions in that game. They're like, oh, he's the reason we lost.
And then they almost lost USF, and they're like, "Oh no!"
I wish they would have lost that game.
And
Fuck.
I did some research into kind of the whole Jalen Milrose situation. So apparently, the reason he even struggled that early in the season was because Reese, Alabama's offense coordinator, was like trying to force that Buckner kid in
Yeah,
from Notre Dame because he coached him at Notre Dame. So he was just like really trying to get him in because that was his guy and he had coached him before, and
yeah.
it was throwing Jalen Miller off, and then I think from my understanding, Nick
I
Saban has put his foot
I
down and
feel
was like,
like I
"No, we're not doing
said
this."
that in some capacity
No, you probably like guessed it, and then like it turns out that was really what happened.
because I seen something similar. I didn't come up with the idea. I'll just say that now. I don't think I claimed the idea as my own back then, but I remember seeing something like that then, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's like why? I mean, I guess give him a shot, see if he's any good. But you should know what you got in practice. Like they should know how good he is. Like they're playing unless he's just not playing like or getting any like first team reps and maybe he's just cooking the practice squad dudes.
That might be, and then honestly, I think like I think Nick Saban's so like he's so petty. He's like, you know what,
Like,
buddy,
go out there and
put your guy in, and
yeah, we're not gonna lose
I'm willing to lose this game to prove a point.
because I mean at that point that they had already lost the game. He was probably like, fuck, we got a tough schedule ahead. Like we're probably gonna lose another one. Like we're not winning a championship with this team. Fuck it. Yeah, go for it. I could see that. Nick Saban is that is something he would probably do.
I mean, Nick Saban's the only coach I've ever seen like cuss out his own offensive coordinator before.
He will cuss out anybody.
He's the only guy that's like, you know what? I'll prove a point here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take us to a really close game against USF just to prove the point that your quarterback you brought in sucks.
I know my defense is good. I know they're not going to score a lot of points on us. We'll dog this. We'll dog this out.
And Jalen Miller is only a sophomore. Like
He's
next year, I
only
could
gonna
see
get
him being
better.
leaps and bounds better.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have no fucking good receivers. Like their receivers are okay. I wouldn't say they're not good, but they don't have the receiving talent they usually do. They don't. They don't got Devontae Smith. They don't got Jalen Waddle. They don't got Jamison Williams, Julio Jones, whoever they're wide receiver if you ask me.
Yeah,
Other than
absolutely. Yeah, Calvin Ridley as well. I mean,
yeah,
they
Calvin
have
Ridley. I feel like
Amari
I'm missing
Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Yeah, I'm missing another big one. I feel more recent one, but you get the drift. They don't have that guy. Uh, their guys are just they're good, but there's not they don't have a great um, and they'll probably hit the transfer portal, or I'm sure they got some dude in the fucking pipeline coming out of high school that's just insane. Or maybe they don't. And if they don't, and the receiving core is the same next year, they're probably gonna be a similar type of offense, having to rely on Milroad to really run the ball a lot. But back to JJ McCarthy. This motherfucker shouldn't be sniffing the top five.
Yeah, I mean, if he
It's
gets
me.
those big wins against Penn State and Ohio State, that's when
You can get
I'll
invited.
be sold on him.
You still shouldn't win
No, I don't think so, unless just
unless he throws for like 300 and two touchdowns both games. Okay, I'll give it. I'll secede, and you can have it by all
watch
means.
him throw for like 500 against Penn State this weekend or so. I'd be like,
And
all right,
there's
give him
no
the
way that
Heisman.
defense is fucking nasty.
No, that's good defense. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Penn
He
State
might have a
walked away.
Boeing. He might have one of these types of stat lines. We'll really see what JJ McCarthy's about this weekend. We will really see what he's about. We will really see what Michigan's about too. This ain't no unless they stole all their signs already, which is likely. Um,
So
I doubt Penn State's offense does anything, but
I'm hearing a punishment is going to be dealt out to Michigan like as early as this week at some point, like any day
please,
now.
please,
Um,
something.
it's unfortunate from what I'm reading. It looks like the most likely scenario is a 2 game suspension for Harbaugh.
That does nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like what is? And then I was watching the playoff ranking show last night, and those guys are so annoying. Sometimes they're like, it would be unfair to the players if Michigan got a postseason ban, and they're like, actually, it'd be unfair to the players if Harbaugh got suspended. So the best thing they could do is just take away some scholarships for Michigan. And I'm
Oh, okay, take half.
like, yeah, you take a bunch of them if you want to make it fair.
Yeah,
Who cares? Like, who cares? Like
that's not gonna do anything.
they've punished players in the past for things they hadn't done. You think any of the Penn State players in 2012 had anything to do with the
Being
Jerry Sandusky
fucking
stuff? And they got a
molested, and
yeah, and they got a
I'm sure they might have had they might have yeah. That
and they
wasn't
got a
maybe
bowl like a 2 year bowl ban or something. Those players had nothing to do with that. So these Michigan guys, they actually know their coaches are stealing the signals. So I'm not saying this is their fault because it's obviously on the coaching staff. But I mean, they're a little bit more involved in this than some of these other scandals where players did get punished.
if they were stealing the signs, what fucking benefit is it to not tell your quarterback, hey, this is what the defense is doing? There's going to be whatever the case may be. Or, hey, this is what their offense is lining up. This is what they're calling. The defensive captain's going to fucking shift the defense. And you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't think that would be odd. Your coach knows what the fuck the offense is running every play. They ain't got the goddamn savants of offensive and defensive coordinators on this team. This ain't the goddamn 84 Bears and fucking what the 2013 Denver Broncos. You know what I mean? Whatever fucking year that was, Ed Payton, where he threw for like
55
50,
touchdowns.
55
Yeah, that's
touchdowns. Like,
2013. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Damn, I'm good. This ain't those two combinations of play calling. And grant that was probably mostly Peyton Manning, but he's calling his own plays.
And did you see Connor Stallions was fired? And
I
I'm
heard he
curious to see.
I heard before that he resigned, and then I heard he got fired, and I was like, what? Why would you fire someone if they're not guilty?
I'm curious to see if maybe he turns on Michigan now that they fired him.
Well, I seen he came out with a statement, said Harbaugh and the staff had nothing to do with it.
Oh, so he's right or die. They gave him a check then.
Check his fucking bank records after, like, see what he's been paid. Somebody investigate that or keep an eye on his movements and spending.
Because they're like, okay, Connor Stallions, you're making $50,000 a year. How about we write you a $10 million check for you to keep your mouth shut? He'd be like, okay, yep.
Yeah, but you can't cash it for 5 years. You have to wait until this whole thing cools down.
It's going to an account in the Cayman Islands.
It's I feel like that's not even that's not even a real fucking name. That's probably not even his real name. That's a stupid ass name. That sounds made up.
Then he's on the sideline with Central Michigan with a camera in his sunglasses.
That was him. That was him. You cannot convince me otherwise.
No, I think it was because if you notice, like, I don't know if you saw the video, like anytime the camera would go near him, he would like kind of hide.
That was him.
And then like the sunglasses had a camera on them, like the Spy Kids. Like, what are you doing here?
God,
sit in the stands. Like, why are you sitting on the sideline? Oh my god. Yeah, Connor Stallions, man. What a.
And then if you watch the videos, like they're all celebrating, and he's just standing there, like what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like everybody else in the sidelines like going nuts, and he's just like.
I feel like he just took it like too far. Like, why did they put him on the sidelines? Like, I understand like having him in the like Michigan is stupid for getting caught. Like, just have him like dress up as a fan. Or just send somebody else who like is a fan and just have them film.
Different fans every game, different people. God damn! But I guess then it's like more mouths and more people to talk. It's easier.
Now Michigan has provided evidence to the Big Ten allegedly that Ohio State got a hold of Michigan's signals and gave them to Purdue in the Big Ten championship.
That's not illegal.
No. They're saying they gave them to Purdue, so I guess that would be illegal. But
I feel like that's not either.
No, it has to be illegal. Yeah, I mean, because like
the only thing that like Michigan is like, who cares if they stole the signs? It's just a advanced scouted in person with video equipment. Like that's the only thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't.
But nobody cares that they stole the signs. Just as how they went about it is technically against the rules.
And honestly, I don't even know if I believe that Ohio State and Purdue and I think maybe Penn State was involved in it. Like,
prove it.
I need to. I mean, because there's been tons of proof. Like, showing.
I've seen like 10 things about this Michigan scandal. I haven't seen a single shred of evidence that. I mean, granted, that just came out like within the past couple of days, but prove it. If that prove it.
I'm seeing like that this whole investigation is being linked back to Ryan Day's family and stuff. Like, and I believe that. Like, I believe Ohio State probably did start this.
Yeah, it's Ohio State or like a Michigan alum. I've also heard that too. Yeah. From a Michigan fan, which I mean, they're more tuned into the program than I am, so I mean, it sounds reasonable. Sure.
Michigan, all you got to do is keep winning, and
please
I might drop this, but probably not. I'll probably still be talking.
Please
about
lose
this.
so we can stop talking about them, because they're just gonna keep winning, and they're gonna be like, there's just an asterisk sitting there.
Yeah, because the committee, like when they brought in the chairman of the committee after the rankings came out,
they don't give a fuck.
Like, are you considering dropping Michigan out? And they're like, well, our whole thing is we're just ranking teams that are eligible for the postseason. So until that changes, then that's something else I found out. So James Madison's not in the top 25 because James Madison is not eligible for a bowl game this year because it's because they're transitioning from FCS to FBS, so D2 to D1, and apparently there's like a 2-year, like you can't play in the postseason after you switch. So James Madison's appealing that, trying to get approval to play in a bowl game this year.
Oh, I'd be
So that's
fucking.
that's the reason why they're not ranked
I would
because
be so
they're not
mad.
eligible.
Yeah, are they really not? They might be in the AP pool. Yeah, they're 21, but
Yeah, they're not like a really like according to the committee, they're not really allowed to be ranked because they're not eligible for the
they should
postseason.
be like 19. Should be over all these three lost teams. Iowa's trash, and they're probably better than Tulane. So
And
yeah,
I
they
do
should be like,
understand that Liberty hasn't played anybody, but they are undefeated and they are
yeah,
eligible
true.
for postseason. And
They
why are
should
they in over not over like K State? Come on.
they should be at least 25. North Carolina keeps getting bodied. I mean, they've lost to two really bad teams, so like I get it. Yeah, fucking trash.
So you went with who'd you go for game of the week? You went with Washington
Yeah,
USC. I
yeah.
went with Ole Miss Texas A&M.
How the fuck do you with that game with this game? That's over 1,000 yards of total offense.
Because I mean,
Like,
towards the end of the game, you kind of knew Washington was winning this game.
I
I
mean, up until the fourth quarter, like even halfway through the fourth quarter, it was a 3 point game, you know. But
Yeah, I mean, like the last like 4 or 5 minutes, it was just like I don't think USC is
yeah, and this
gonna
this
pull
game
this
did come down
through.
to the wire.
Because I
I
mean, Ole Miss was losing until like about a minute left in the game.
Yeah, they had a drive. Did you see that play where Ole Miss intercepted it? Like right, and then he like I'm pretty sure that was an interception. I think they were trying to give it, and that was an interception. I don't know why the fuck they
Yeah,
didn't
I thought
count
I
that.
thought so too. No, I
Um,
I don't.
yeah, they had the ball a minute 40, and they were driving, and then where's the interception? It's probably might be this one. I think this is it.
Yeah, incomplete. Yeah,
They get to 3rd and 15, and then 4th and 8. Then they blocked the field goal. Wrecked, get wrecked. And then that would have tied the game, sent it to overtime. See, I was mad too because this game was taking the slide of the Florida State Pitt game, and I was
I
like, please
hate when
just,
that
I was like,
happens.
please fucking lose already. Like your trash team, just quit. Somebody give up on this team because the entire team's given up. Just stop, please. Ole Miss deserves to win this game. It was a good game though.
In this game, I really think this is the game that sealed Jimbo's fate. Is
Good.
everything I'm reading, he's done for. Jimbo is a great offensive coach.
He's a good recruiter.
I'd love to see him, maybe in the booth in Norman, if Jeff Levy doesn't work out. Like does he, take an OC job? Maybe I wouldn't mind it.
Hey, all I gotta say is Karma's a bitch. Get fucked, Jimbo. That's what you get. You drove our program into the ground, you asshole.
And
Yeah, I mean, we win a championship, but that wasn't you. That was the team.
yeah,
Like,
I mean he
hey,
he
hey,
did he did a great job recruiting at Florida State. He does have
he's a great recruiter. Like look at the draft class that A&M's had. Like they've had like top 5 draft class. They've had the best draft class of all time, and they're 5-4. Like what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. If this was Alabama, they would be undefeated with the best draft class of all time. Like they would be back to back champs like Georgia, like type thing. You know what I mean? Like it just something's going on. Something ain't right. Uh, I don't know. I don't watch Texas A&M football unless they're playing a big game, and then they suck. So,
yeah, and I have a friend that's an A&M fan, and he's like, oh man, this Jimbo thing's been going on too long. Like, we need to
pull
we
the
need to get
plug.
rid of him. Like nobody really wants him there. He doesn't seem like he wants to be there, and I was just like, it's just looking like it's better for both sides just to part ways and
I
move
wonder if
on.
he'll like waive his contract to leave.
No, he
I
taking that
wouldn't. I
money. I
wouldn't. I'd
wouldn't.
be
I'm
like,
like, give me that money.
fire me. I'll run this team into the ground just like my last one.
Like, I don't get paid to win. You already gave me the money.
They gave him like a
Like,
10-year contract, I'm pretty sure. Uh,
they panicked, but yeah, Ole Miss played great. Jackson Dart, man, I love that guy. If he could get a win against Georgia, maybe start throwing his name up there. He's a great
I
player.
mean, let's look at his shit. He's kind of right up there with everybody else. He's got the rushing touchdowns. He's got 7, so he's got quick maths, like 23, 24
Yeah,
touchdowns.
yeah, 2023, I
He's
believe.
he's literally right there with Jordan Travis, other than his QB. This just looks like he just looks like an Ole Miss quarterback. He looks like he should be quarterback for Ole Miss.
No, it's crazy. He came from USC. Like he was the
Yeah,
guy. He was the guy before Caleb. Like he was USC starter, and they're like, "Yeah, we're bringing Caleb in. You could go, buddy." And he's like, "All right."
see ya.
And he's having a better season. I'm not. I wouldn't say a better season than Caleb, but
No,
like
no,
as like team wise,
yeah,
a better. He's in a better situation. I'll put that.
he's
It was funny listening to Lane Kiffin. I believe it was before the game. It was on game day. I think they were talking to him, and he was like, "Go LSU!" Like he's like, I hear y'all. Like basically, he didn't say this. But he's like, "Y'all suck Nick Saban off all day on this show." Like in other words, he's like, "Go
uh
Tiger."
Lane Kiffin's hilarious, bro. I would love to have Lane Kiffin as a coach. That motherfucker is funny, but yeah, I don't know. He's a character. Okay. Best performance by team. I got Arizona.
So did I. So did I.
Bro,
Yes.
Arizona might be one of the best teams in the country. Like, what are we talking about? Arizona? Like, what the fuck? This team came out of nowhere. Fafita is probably like this motherfucker should be in the Heisman. Is
I
a
want to.
freshman.
This
Like,
is bold, but I'm thinking about sliding in his DMs and seeing if he'll come on this show.
bro,
Like,
you should,
because
man.
he's low profile enough to where he's not so big. Like maybe he would do it.
You should. Fuck it.
Because he's honestly like he's one of my favorite players right now.
Oh my god, he's insane. Like, yeah, he's playing fucking incredible. Even against Washington State, like he didn't throw any touchdowns, but 342. Like as soon as they came in, like he's just gone off as a freshman. Like I feel bad for the backup because that dude was pretty good too, and then he
No,
ain't
that
getting.
guy was great. I watched one
Yeah,
of his early games and he looked like perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with him.
Did he get hurt? Is that why
He
Peter's
got
in?
hurt and then Fafita got in and then it was just like Fafita was doing so good. It's like you
Yeah,
got to roll with the hot hand like
I love this kid, man. He's insane.
from the
Uh,
Hawaiian Islands.
Arizona is one of my favorite teams this year. I didn't get to watch the game because it was late as fuck, but and I was like, hey, okay, Arizona's hot, but UCLA's defense is really good. Like they got a really good defense, and yeah, obviously not. They got their shit pushed in. He cooked them. One
And that,
interception. He did get sacked 3 times, but
I was
it,
so happy when I saw them. They're ranked like 20, and this is what I mean. Like the committee's got to take into account like the whole scope of the season, and it's like
at
since
this point,
since the Washington game, like they've been on fire. This like they should have won against USC. They like USC squeaked it out. That Caleb Williams magic.
yeah, he threw a pick six too. It's just,
Like
no.
this would be the last team I would want to play. Like
Oh hell no! And their defense is fucking just playing insane. They're suffocating people. They had Caleb Williams figured out. This was the first team that USC played up against, and you're like, oh, okay, they got the answer. And ever since then, people have kind of had them figured out. So yeah, whoever the defensive coordinator or whoever is setting shit up, that man needs to be given a raise, something. But yeah, this kid is crazy. I cannot wait to see him next year. His receivers are absolutely nuts. They have one of the best receiving cores in college football, which is weird. Doesn't make sense.
and I from my understanding, like their receivers are pretty young too. Like it seems like most of them will be back next year.
Yeah,
So this is a team
they're gonna shit on the Big 12.
like I promise you, like when we do like our preseason Heisman top five, he's gonna be in it next year. Like when we start the
Yeah,
season.
he's a freshman. He's so good. I love this kid. How old is this guy?
That's a good question. Uh, doesn't
Fucking trash.
doesn't say. I bet you he's. I mean, he's a freshman. He's probably like 18, 19 years old. And if that's the case, that is crazy. Noah Fafita. Let's see. Might just have to
Mm,
Google like age with it.
it's not 39. What the
39.
fuck?
Age 20, redshirt freshman, age 20. So
Uh,
yeah, 20-year-old quarterback.
that's nuts. I mean, that's kind of that's oldish, I guess, for a freshman quarterback. But maybe he didn't go directly to college from high school, or maybe got
Yeah,
held
or he
back
could have
or
just
something.
he could have just been like, yeah, he got held back and been like really old, like senior in
Senior,
high school. Like, because
yeah,
I was like almost 19 when I graduated. Like same for you. Like we were pretty much about to turn 19
yeah.
when we
Cause I
graduated.
got held back.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah,
Kindergarten did it twice.
me too.
Um,
uh,
immaturity.
my parents never took me to school. I didn't know my colors and then my alphabet. It was my alphabet. I didn't know my alphabet. But
My
yeah,
thing was my handwriting. Like I couldn't write at all. My handwriting's still terrible.
yeah, you,
Yeah, because
you
guess what? Teachers, we do everything on computers and phones now, so that was irrelevant.
yeah, suck my ass. Yeah, slide in his DMs. Do that
I'm
shit
gonna
right.
see if he. I'm gonna see if we could get, because I feel like he's one of the more realistic guys that we could get on. Like it'd have to be kind of a lower pro. Like we can't hit up like Michael Penix. I mean, hey, you want to come on this random
Get
podcast with 200 subscribers?
get fucked. Yeah, remember we was talking about getting General Booty?
Oh yeah, General
Is
Booty's
he
a
still on the
realistic
team?
one. Yeah, he's like the third string.
Yeah, you should message both of them.
Message that. Yeah, I'm gonna get a list. That's kind of gonna be like my goal for the off season to see if we could get some guys on the podcast. So that way we're not just running through the same topics every week. Like, oh,
Yeah,
so who's gonna be the best next year? We like
yeah.
just every week. Or oh, who's what high school recruits are doing signing where?
Yeah,
Like
we
in the
ain't talking
grand
about
scheme,
that shit.
nobody cares about that.
We'll be
Like,
doing random episodes probably again.
yeah.
Who's your most disappointing performance at Notre Dame? God,
Mine was Maryland, but Notre Dame's a good choice.
how the fuck did Notre Dame lose it? Sam Hartman might be one of the biggest busts I've ever seen.
He is 0-5 against Clemson in his career.
That sucks. I mean, to be fair, Jordan Travis was like, 0-4. Pretty sure
I
before.
feel bad for him because
Uh,
he's great. He's a great guy,
he seems kind of weird.
but
Oh my god, they got their shit pushed in. I mean, it was close-ish, but it wasn't close. They smothered Notre Dame offense. Estime only had 87. I was like, oh, Estime is gonna go crazy. He's gonna 150, maybe 200 yards. Um, Sam Hartman, it was trash. He's also my most disappointing player of the week. 13 completions. What? He
yeah,
was like the
no,
number one transfer out of like last year. I'm pretty sure number
no,
one.
yeah. I thought he was gonna be like the difference maker. I thought he was gonna tip Notre Dame over the edge. This is gonna be their year. They finally got their quarterback, and I mean, he's not been bad, but in the big games where it counts, other than
He does
USC, he
not
has
show
not
up.
done it.
That
Um,
USC game is so weird. It's like a fucking anomaly for both teams. It doesn't make sense.
And honestly, he's not even what won Notre Dame the game. It was their defense. Like he honestly, I don't even think he only threw
Yeah,
like a touchdown or something.
because Caleb threw like 3 interceptions that game.
Yeah, and I mean this. What's funny about like the past like several years, I've just hated Dabo, and I'm finally like seeing him down like this. It makes me kind of like him, like
No,
the way he's like responded to it.
it makes me happy. I
Like
I hate Clemson with I hate this team. I fucking hate Clemson. I don't know who I hate more, Clemson, Miami, or Florida. I would do unspeakable things to that campus.
see,
Um,
I like I'm starting to like Dabo. Like I like more I hear him talk and then I see him do a game like this. It was kind of weird to see him like crying after the game
get fucked. Back to the
like
fucking
you won a national championship and you're crying after like this game like
have some
I don't know
fucking
if he was
self
crying but he was like on the ground like it
have
looked like
some
he was
self
crying.
respect for yourself. Yeah,
And
this team back to the fucking basement of the ACC where you belong.
did you see like his post game He was
He's like,
like,
you buy
if
stock
Clemson's
and
if Clemson's a
buy it
stock, you better
now.
start buying it now. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm starting to like this guy. He
If
told that
I
fan off last week.
I would buy all the Clemson stock and then sell it for the cheapest possible price I could. Fuck that team. I hate Clemson. If they don't win a game for the rest of that team's lifespan, I'd be okay. I wouldn't give them a win over a D3 school. Fuck Clemson. I hate that team. I hate their uniforms. I hate orange. The fucking logo's stupid. The stadium's cool. That's all I give them. The
No,
crowd.
I like the uniforms. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
hate playing there. God damn, that place is.
I like the stadium. I like I don't like the like I don't know. It's just something
Fucking
about
teams.
Clemson has always rubbed me the wrong way. But
Yeah.
Dabo's starting to like
Also hate Notre Dame too. I guess they fucking piss me off. They
see. I
they've
like
got
Notre
they've this
Dame.
team's cost me money. Fuck that team.
You know like
I was cool with Notre Dame at the beginning of the year. I was like, okay, Notre Dame, they got Sam Hartman. I was like, whatever. They're gonna be good. Fuck no, they suck. They got no. See, granted, I don't know what the fuck his deal is. I don't know if maybe he was a product of the slow mesh system of Wake Forest. Maybe he benefited a little bit from it. And also, I think they had better receivers than Wake Forest, believe it or not. They don't have any receivers on this Notre Dame team. Like, they got fucking nobody. Like, let's look at their fucking leading receiver. 446. Trash. Trash. This is all their offense right here. That's it. That's the majority of it. And then their defense. It's just not a good team. You got fucking Chris Tyree is your leading receiver, and he was a running back. He's not even a receiver. He's a running back.
yeah, I mean it's been I wouldn't
Like,
call it
what
a
the fuck?
disaster for Notre Dame,
No,
but
this is a disaster.
I wouldn't call it a disaster
They had
because I mean
national title hopes.
they were like a 5 loss team last year. So
Yeah, but they was like, we got Sam Hartman. Our defense is good. Sam Hartman was supposed to be fucking one of the best college quarterbacks. The dude's bottom five and not 2 through 5. I'm just talking shit, but
I don't know where I'm going with this,
no, I
but
know, but he's bad. He's bad. I'll just go with that. I
I'll
mean,
say this to Notre Dame: lower your academic standards, and you're gonna have a better team.
that that it's never gonna happen, but they have such a good position. They're independent school. They have no conference. They can play whoever the fuck they want. Win out and you're in.
Going
Well,
in the 12 team, I mean, like
they're gonna be fine.
they're gonna be in probably every year with that 12 team playoff. So I had a Maryland as my worst performance of the week and worst players of the week.
Yeah,
So
fucking to his brother.
no. It's their running game, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Look at their top rusher.
4 yards. Did the running back not run for 4 turnovers? God damn it.
So they rushed for negative 49 yards. Their top rusher had 4 total yards.
Turnover on downs, fumble, punt. Finally scored,
Tua's
punt,
brother played good, honestly.
interception, fumble, interception. Jesus Christ.
When I looked at this running stat, I was like,
What the
no,
fuck?
there ain't no way that's right. 4 for their top rusher, and then I see they have negative. So my worst players of the week is the entire running back.
That's where all their rushing yards went.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had negative 47.
It's all right there. You got sacked 6 times. The Penn State defense is good, man. And to think I was like, oh, everybody can call me out. I was like, yeah, Maryland's got a shot for the Big Ten.
I thought Maryland was. I was like, Michigan got to
Oh,
play a Maryland second to last game. That's gonna be a problem for Michigan. Like, nah, nah.
fucking God, dude. Somebody play offense in this conference, please.
How do you rush for negative yards? Like,
Okay, even if you take the 47 that you fucking Tua's brother. I don't even know what the fuck what is his first? I'll just call him Tua. Uh,
Tal. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
he's
know how to
Tua.
pronounce it.
He's Tua to me. Take Tua's negative 47 into account. All you need is 50 to get positive.
Go to the full box score. I want to see all the running backs. Like,
No,
uh,
you're not 50. That shit don't make sense.
let's see, running back. So,
They ran it a
4-0,
total of
-3, -3, and then the sacks have nine
half of their rushing
-44.
attempts was the quarterback. And that's probably him scrambling, trying to get sacked, and ultimately getting sacked. Holy shit, man.
They're they only attempted to rush it
Eight
16 times.
I'd say probably 8 because I'm assuming these weren't actually rushing attempts, and he was, like I said, scrambling and got sacked, doing some
And
play action or something.
I'm assuming this Roman Himby must be the running back because he had the most attempts at 5.
God damn. Oh, holy shit. That's terrible. They had fucking 6 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. That's that's where all your 12 of your 16 rushing attempts were probably tackles for loss. Yeah, Penn State's defense is legit. They are legit.
This is what's giving me a little bit of confidence in
Yeah,
Penn State because that's
I
a good
just
offense.
no, it's not.
You don't think Maryland's offense is like
Oh
good
no,
like
I
in
thought you were talking
general?
about. I think you're talking about Penn State's offense. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about like Maryland's offense is good and they shut them down
Oh
like
yeah, and then
completely.
they held Ohio State to 20. You got to score 3 times, and you can probably beat the majority of the teams in the country. You got to score three touchdowns, and you could probably beat anybody, right?
Like can Drew Aller
Like holy shit, man.
throw for can he throw for 4 touchdowns against Michigan? Like can that happen?
No.
But if it does, that's a Penn State victory, I
Oh
think.
yeah, probably. I would hope so. I just have zero confidence in this Penn State offense. Like zero, Nick, zero.
You know,
Fucking
I
hit the zero. I'm Batman.
I
Oh man, I don't know.
I believe in Drew Aller ever since I saw his post game Ohio State giving me Tim
The
Tebow
T
vibes.
2.0. I like Penn State too, but fuck. All you had to do is score a touchdown in the early portion of the game, and they would have won. They lost by 8. Like fuck, dude. Fuck.
Just
Pisses me off.
give us this like this is like Penn State. This is your last chance. You got Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA coming in. This is your last shot at it.
You guys are
You better win
fucked.
this game.
You guys are fucked.
Even if you win this game, well, I guess you know you need Michigan to beat Ohio State. That's the only way it works. And then
That
I
three-way
still
tie
it's like a
shit.
three-way. Yeah, I don't want to get into that again. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. If Penn State can actually pull off the victory. Um,
You Penn State. And see, watch. They beat fucking Michigan. They lose to Rutgers the next week. Watch.
no one be surprised.
I could see it 100%. Dude, motherfucker went crazy.
I'm considering not even watching this. This like I probably will, but like I might leave to Norman early because like I was actually just gonna not go to the OU game, but like the tickets lost their value like so much after we lost these past 2 games, and I'm like, well, I
Who you
can't
guys
really
play?
get much out of West
Who you guys play?
Virginia.
Well, that could be a good game. West Virginia is kind of getting a little momentum. I think. I
So
was
where
gonna
I
put.
was sitting, the tickets were like 150, but then we lost 2 games, and now they're like thirty
Yeah, they're
dollars.
6-3. Like, I mean, they've like no chance to win, but I mean, they're cooking a little bit. I mean, they beat UCF pretty handily, and you guys barely beat them. And they got the shit stomped out of them by Oklahoma State. So like I mean, on paper it seems like it should be pretty even, like based off like game results. But yeah, if it's close, like fuck, I oops, it shouldn't be close. But for y'all's sake,
Yeah, I mean,
that
you
that
just
defense keeps giving me concerns.
OU's defense.
Yeah, I touched on it again. I touched on it last week. Like I guess we'll move into that in a minute. Who's your player of the week?
Oh, you already know Dylan Johnson, man. This man went off.
I had a tie. I had him and Bo Nix because Bo Nix had like 5 touchdowns. But
Yeah.
Jesus, this man went for 256 and 4 tutties. I wouldn't say he's a big reason why Washington won, but yeah, a big reason.
It just seemed like they'd hand the ball off and he would just take off down the field like several times.
Yeah,
The
it would be like
153.
second and long, and they're like, he just boom, see ya. He's like that time that he would get the ball and like he's through the line, he's like not even ready. And Washington's O line handled USC very well. Like they did whatever they want. They did whatever they wanted. USC did nothing on defense other than like an occasional, stop, or they get the interception.
Occasional tackle here and
Oh
there.
God, they can't tackle for shit, but neither can Washington. Washington couldn't fucking stop a nosebleed either.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, ultimately, like, I mean, we
I
all
think
knew
the
how
running game really
scripts was
just
going anyway, but Dylan Johnson might have like sent us home a little bit earlier than he
single-handedly.
intended. But
I'm just happy for him. Like they kept talking about like his son and shit, and I was just like, hell yeah. And I guess he's got a young kid, and oh, I don't know the story, but I don't think it's like a tragic story, but he's got a young kid. And they just kept talking about it, and I was like, cool, fuck him up,
he's
and he did. He went fucking crazy. 256 is nuts. That's nuts.
like they didn't
It's
even need Michael Penix in this game the way he was running. Like
not
they,
really.
I mean, they did, but they like
Michael, he made big play. There was like so many times I was like, it's like third and long. I was like, oh, this drive's over. Nope. Like Dylan Johnson, boom, or Penix, boom, and I'm like, okay. They'd get like a holding, and I'm like, oh, drive's over. Psych. Dylan Johnson, like, boom, see ya. I
I
was just like,
love
what
seeing
the
these
fuck
types
are
of
y'all
games.
doing running it on third down? And it was working.
These running like when you have like these running games where like a running back's just unstoppable. It's so fun to watch because it
It
doesn't
is
happen every day. Just
not,
a running back, just like I'm going downfield like every chance I get.
it's not even like he was like avoiding contact either. He was just boom, just running people over.
The
Love to
way he
see
was
it.
getting through the blocks too, like those holes,
He's
just
he's quick. He's very quick. He's 6 foot, 218. He's a big boy.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, big boy. Dylan Johnson, much deserved. I hope he. I mean, before this, he didn't even really have like a crazy 84 or
He got
6.
almost half his touchdowns on the season in this game.
Yeah, like he improved his draft stock tremendously in this game if he decides to go to the league. Which I would 100%. If I'm on this Washington team, I'm leaving this year because Penix is gone. I'm not fucking staying. I'm out because there ain't no way Washington's gonna be this good going to the Big Ten next year. I'm fucking out. If I'm going to the 6th round projected, I'm out.
I'll
Uh,
take my 500,000 or whatever it is,
I'm not coming
600
back. Who do you got to replace Penix and fucking all the receivers that they have on that team that are probably gonna leave? They probably have the best receiving core in the NFL, or not the NFL. What the fuck am I talking about? Starting to get drunk here. But in college football, and they don't even have like one of they're missing a dude, McMillan. Like I'm pretty sure he's gonna be back this week. Utah don't stand a chance.
I don't think Utah has a shot at it unless their defense just shuts them down the same way they do USC or something. I just don't see it happening.
No chance. Who's your defensive performance of the week? I got Army. Oh man, Air
Defensive.
Force. Air Force let me down, dude.
Oh yeah, no, I went with Louisville, but yeah, this was a big upset, and it's almost like these armed
That's it.
forces
That's
games,
it right
man.
there.
You could take the records out of these armed forces games, like
Oh yeah.
you just don't know what's gonna happen here, and I was pretty disappointed because I thought it'd been pretty cool to see Air Force up there, because I mean they're just never up there like that, and then
No.
Army just shit on them. They
Army
said
got beat 63-0 by LSU the week before. I was like, oh, this is a fucking gimme. Psych. 6 turnovers. What the fuck are you doing? I didn't watch the game. I'm actually curious. Like, what the fuck happened? Turnover and downs. Stupid, but whatever.
Fumble,
Fumble,
fumble.
downs. What the fuck are y'all doing? Going for it. You're down. I guess you're down 20-0. You kind of have to. Interception, punt, missed field goal, punt, fumble, intercept. God damn, bro.
They fumbled
So,
it like
somebody
four
hold on to the ball.
times.
Oh man. And I'm guaranteeing it's all from the fucking quarterback because I'm pretty sure they run some, variation of fucking read option, triple option type. This is probably all of this dude.
It's a weird formation they line up in. It's definitely like a triple option
What
look.
the fuck's your fumble stats? It was you who wasn't it. God damn it. Where is it?
Why do they have the stats set up like this? Why do they
Uh,
make it hard to find certain stats?
did they not even show fucking? I hate my life.
Fumbles.
Mm,
Yeah, it doesn't look like they even have fumbles as like a listed stat.
it's got to be somewhere. Jesus Christ. Oh, you know what? I'll just go back and look at the fucking box. Who fumbled the fucking ball? I'm genuine. It has to be the majority of the quarterback because he's also the leading rusher. So this is Larrier. Okay, this was him. This game was on him. Yep, there's one. Okay, that's not him.
Michael, that one. Okay, so that's 3 total turnovers for him.
Fumbled,
Fumbled by Larry.
but they recovered. But they got stopped
Another
short.
fumble.
It's just not on the fucking the thing. So that's two. He threw the interception. So he's got 3 turnover. Oh, 2, but recovered 2.5.
Well, he had 2 interceptions on the game, so that's 4 already. That he 4 or yeah, 3 turnovers, 4 like
There's another
fumbles.
one, another fumble by him. Interception by him. Okay, and then just Jet Harris. What a fucking name, Jet Harris. It'd be
Looking
funny
at
if
this,
he.
maybe I should have gave him worst player of the week.
Yeah, facts. I didn't actually even look at this game. I just looked at the turnovers. I'm like, oh, there's my defensive performance. It'd be funny if like this dude ran the ball, fumbled it, and then that quarterback picked it up and then he fucking fumbled it. Oh my god, that dude's fucking. What are you doing, bro?
He said, "You know what?
Fired.
I don't like being good."
What are you doing, bro? My god. Hold on to the ball. After the first, you get one. After the second one, what the fuck are you doing? Third, you're done.
You would think
Dude,
the coach would have pulled him at a certain point, but I mean, they're probably
dude,
not that deep.
interceptions and fumbles, like the second turnover, like that's like the last straw. One more, you're fucking done. But you let this man get 5 turnovers himself.
The thing that cracks me up about the armed
God
forces teams is
damn.
they play like it's 1930, like the way their offense is set up. I'm reading a I'm reading this book about Bud Wilkinson, who was like the OU coach who like won like 47 in a row or whatever. And they're running like the same offense as like Air Force is running.
Goddamn wishbone.
Like back in 1942, half of my players are in World War II, and we're running the triple option.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess we can get into our teams now. Sure, we'll hear you go off.
Yeah, I have quite a bit to say about
Let me go
my
pee before you do
Oklahoma
this.
Sooners.
I mean, you can start if you want.
I'll start light. I'll start with the good from OSU, and then when you come back, I'll start complaining.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I mean, Oklahoma State. Hats off to them. They started off really good offensively. Alan Bowman. Um, Going into this game, I thought the strategy for OU would be you stack everybody up in the box, you shut Ollie Gordon down, you force Alan Bowman to beat you with the pass. That's kind of how they started off the game, and sure enough, Alan Bowman beat Oklahoma with the pass. So that put the defense in a rough spot. This Owens guy, he had 10 receptions. He was just cooking it on the slant routes, just beating guys in one-on-one coverage, short yardage situations. he was coming away with the ball. And then, through that passing game, you saw Ollie Gordon, start to get the running game going on a lot better for Oklahoma State. Um, yeah, I hate saying good stuff about Oklahoma State. But yeah, I mean, they played a good game. Defensively, I think OSU played okay. I don't think they were anything spectacular. It was really their offensive performance. The way they threw the ball was the biggest surprise to me. And just the way Alan Bowman played to start that game was really the what surprised me. So basically what I was saying was going into this game, I thought the clear and obvious strategy is you stack everybody up in the box, you sell it on the run,
That shit
you
didn't
for,
work.
you force Alan Bowman to beat you with the pass, and
That
sure
boy
enough,
cooked y'all's ass.
he sure enough he did beat us with the pass.
That little fucking read option pass thing that they were doing killed y'all the whole
Well,
game.
and then this Owens guy was just killing us on the slant routes. It was almost similar to the way that guy on Stanford was cooking Colorado.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like he was going for these deep shots. It was
Nah,
just like these little 10 yards, 10
but they
yards.
just kept picking up first downs when they needed them.
Yeah, so I mean that's my good stuff about OSU. So I'll start with the good on Oklahoma. Um, Defensively, we started off a little bit shaky, but after the first 2-3 drives, OU's defense did a really good job of putting the offense in position. We had two fourth down and one stops. We had a big interception at the end of the game by Billy Bowman when OSU tried to run that weird trick play uh, pass. We got that pick. Um, so the defense in general, without Danny Stutzman, his backup Kip Lewis played
Yeah, that's all right.
phenomenal. I think Kip Lewis earned himself a starting position. There's two like main linebackers for OU are Danny Stutzman, Jared Kanik. Jared Kanik could just get on the bench and maybe rotate in and out. I'd say put Kip Lewis next to Danny Stutzman because he was way more effective. That's kind of the good part of what I saw was how the defense played, putting the offense in position. Now on offense, if you look at the stats, Dylan Gabriel looked like he had a pretty good game, and for the most part, he did. He threw that interception to start the second half, which I wasn't too mad about it because I'm like, okay, he's taking a shot. It's
It
early.
happens.
It's early in the second half. Let's take a shot. And then after that, just the offense, just the mistakes on offense just kept piling up. We had a long bomb to Nick Anderson, about a 50, 60 yards. Nick Anderson wide open. Dylan threw it right in his hands. He drops it. We got the running game figured out. That was great. And that's what I love about this team. 2 weeks we have a good running game, we fucking lose. We ain't had a running game this whole season. We finally get it figured out. We just lose. And then like Drake Stoops seemed like he was the only receiver out there that really wanted it like that. He was getting open.
He's like the
Um,
only receiver in general.
Honestly. And then the center, man, he cost us the game. He had two bad snaps. The first one was to Javante Barnes, our backup running back. Apparently that snap was supposed to go to Dylan Gabriel, so
Oh yeah,
the
fucking
center messed
and he
up.
tried to hand it back to him. I don't, dude, just take it. Like obviously the fucking plays,
Just fall down. Like
just run, just fucking take it. Why were you trying to hand it back to the quarterback? Just run, just
I
go,
think
try
it
to
was
do something.
supposed to be like a flea flicker, and he just panicked. Like, bro, I'd rather him just fall on it and just like, okay, we
Take
take the
like
loss on that
basically
play.
the sack, yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, what? And then this is also on Jeff Levy though. I'm like, why are we getting so cute? Like we have like the running game's going good. Dylan Gabriel is being able to find Drake Stoops, and then Levy wants to get cute. And then what really just blew my mind this game. So let's take it back to last week when we're playing Kansas. There's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game.
They throw the interception.
Bean drops back, throws interception to Ethan Downs. Ethan
Game should
Downs
be
takes it
over.
to about the 50. All we need is a first down. What do? We hand it off 3 times in a row. And
I get it, but like at least like after the second time, try to pass.
and then we're in this exact situation. We have the lead. Ollie Gordon throws that interception to Billy Bowman. Billy Bowman takes it to the
That dude was
50.
wide fucking open though. So like I get like the idea of what he was trying to do. He just didn't put any pace in it. He just kind of lobbed it because he's
It,
not. You don't throw the ball. Like, of course he's gonna fucking lob it. Like, but yeah,
yeah, he probably should have just thrown it away, but
or just kept running. Like he almost costed them the game.
he got excited. Billy Bowman takes it to the 50. We're in the exact same position. We're in the lead. We have a chance to end the game. And Jeff Levy wants to run it up the middle 3 times in a row again. So
Where
we have to
was
punt it.
that? Right here.
Ollie Gordon intercepted
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Billy Bowman. So yeah, then we punt it the
I
next
was throwing.
drive. They score. We fumble it on a bad snap to Dylan Gabriel.
And then they
They get the
get
field
a field
goal.
goal.
We get and then this is another thing. Like I've been pretty easy on Venables this whole season, but like we got a little lucky. But he burned a timeout to kick this field goal, and he could have just sent the field goal team out if he knew that's what he wanted to do. And we had to settle for that, and we got screwed on that pass
Oh,
interference.
that shit was wet. He dragged his ass out of bounds, and he still caught it.
That
That was
was
PI. I was, to be honest, like I was low key rooting for OSU, but I was like rooting for OU at the same time. But like towards the end, I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go OSU. Fuck it, let's do it. OU's championship hopes are pretty much over with the one loss, more than likely. So I was like, fuck it, well, let's go OSU. And then I seen that, and I was like, hey yo, like what the fuck? The Big 12 ref said, "Fuck you, OU. Like, see ya. Have fun in the SEC. 100%.
no, that's exactly what it was. And I see some
You
LSU
guys got the
fans like
Nebraska treatment."
they're like, oh, but Drake Stoops' foot was out of bounds. It's like because he was getting dragged out of bounds. What are you talking about? That's the only reason his foot was out of
It
bounds.
wouldn't even matter if he was out of bounds. Like, he's still getting fucking like dragged down. Like, yeah, that was bad. That was very
But I
bad.
mean, the
That
game
was
shouldn't
that
have
was
came
this
down to
drive, right?
that. That was the one where we settled for the field goal, I believe. Because the last drive we got like I think a first down. Yeah, we got a first down, and then
You sure it
we
wasn't this one?
no, it was because we were in the red zone when that happened. The last drive we had the ball, we threw it to Drake Stoops on an out route, and he was just short of the first down.
Yeah,
Um,
it was. Sorry, that was loud. I'm pretty sure it was this drive.
yeah, he was just short of the first down. That's how we ended the game. Uh, after at the press conference on Monday, when they asked him about like the final like fourth down play call, like when they asked Venables, he was like, probably have dozens of plays better than that. And I'm like, okay, he sounds like he's kind of done with Jeff
He's
Levy if he's
pretty
saying stuff
pissed.
like that.
Yeah, that man's fucking trash, dude. His play calling, his play selection and situations is like just bizarre. You're like, why would you do that? Like, there's other options you could do, and like they line up, they look at the defense, and they're like, fuck it, still call it anyways. Like
Yeah, that's my thing. With like, I defended Jeff Levy after the Kansas game, but then
nah,
he proceeds the next week to do the
the same
exact
shit.
exact situation,
Your
exact
guys'
same
offense
play.
is very like at this point it's very readable, like because
Well,
he
because
calls
he
the same
he
type of shit
he
every
does
time.
it like Jeff Levy works on a script. Like so his whole thing is like we got to get first downs, do no huddle, and just run this script.
And then when he's off script, he's fucking he has nothing.
We need to slow it down, let Dylan Gabriel take a look at the defense, like, oh, they're in cover 4, let's throw a short pass.
Yeah,
Oh, they're in cover 2, let's put Farouk on a seam route down the field.
yeah.
Oh, they're playing man. Well, let's throw it to Nick Anderson and see if he can beat somebody one on one or something. But he doesn't give Dylan Gabriel that opportunity. It's just like, okay, we're running this script and just run it, and
No matter
we'll
what the
hope
defense
for the
is lined
best.
up in, fuck it.
He doesn't make adjustments. His situational. I think it's just his situational play calling is just
I
god
agree.
awful. And I mean, like he's not a terrible coach, but he's what's preventing us from going from good to great. Um,
I yeah, I agree that yeah, his play calling was very bad. Um, I'm still gonna knock the defense a little bit. It's also like yeah, they played a good game, but they couldn't stop shit. It seemed
I mean,
like
they
oh
couldn't stop it like
like
early on.
OSU was like yeah, early on. They was doing whatever the fuck they wanted. like I said, that little read option quick pass that he was doing, it was always open. Always. Every time he wanted to do it, like that dude's not good. That dude's at like a 50% completion rate coming into this game. Like Bowman, like he's not good. And that man threw for a 334 on y'all. Like it's a little bit of the blame goes on the defense. I would say maybe a little bit more than half.
See,
Um,
I mean, like I
and from
understand what you're saying.
from an outside perspective, they did get stops, they did make plays, but
See, my thing is like, okay, so it like the defense forced two turnovers on downs and an interception. They put the offense in position to win the game, though.
yeah,
That
and then
that
they
that's
just
like what it comes down to. When the defense needed to make plays, they made the plays
yeah.
in clutch
They do
situations.
force a lot of fucking turnovers. I will say that. What are they? Are
We're
they
like,
number one?
like
Are they
number
number
one in
one?
turnovers, yeah.
They were number two before this game.
So like
I don't know who the fuck number one is, which is crazy because that's a lot of fucking turnovers.
obviously like the defense could have played a lot better, but I'm like when the
Yeah,
defense gives you the shot to win the game, the offense needs to
they keep fucking
convert.
losing it. This
Like
is
you can't get an interception and take no advantage of it and punt the ball back. That's just a wasted effort. Like you just wasted. Like Billy Bowman made a huge play. The interception, like, yeah, it was a bad throw, but he returned it all the way down to the 50. Like that's huge. Like there's
yeah.
no reason you shouldn't come away with at least a field goal in that
And then they go
situation.
like 3 and out, and the defense is back on the field.
And that's my see. This is the thing.
Yeah,
If the offense wasn't so three and out, this defense would look way better because they wouldn't be on
yeah.
the field all the
You're
time.
probably right. Probably right.
But
I just
one thing I will say about OSU fans is OSU fans are a bunch of cucks, and I have not met one OSU fan that I don't think you know he probably gets off watching his wife get fucked. But that's just my opinion on OSU fans.
no.
Have yeah, chance your little SEC. When we're in the 12 team playoff next year, and y'all are getting blown out by Colorado because they will finally
Arizona
they'll not have an O line. Um,
probably.
keep chanting SEC. Yeah, have fun with your and you better hope Texas and Kansas don't lose. Because if we see you in the Big 12 championship where we're used to playing, it's gonna be bad news for y'all.
Yeah, I'll just say like I was expecting the defense to be better this year. I don't know, maybe because I know what Venables is capable of as a pure defensive coordinator. That dude is a bad man. He's arguably the best defensive coordinator in college football. Like there's not many that would even be considered better. Maybe Jim Knowles from Ohio State and
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban build yeah, that might be it. Yeah, Venables is fucking insane on the defensive front. So I don't know if maybe he's just kind of spread too thin. The whole it is his first year being a head coach, so like I'm giving him some slack. And the defense is playing really well. I was expecting them to be better, but I might just be a little overcritical of the team. I'm just an overcritical guy, I guess.
No,
But yeah,
I
you
do think
know
that
what I'm
the
saying.
defense leaves a lot to desire,
But it is his
but
first year. He don't have his guys
yeah,
that,
second year.
or
But
yeah,
first
second
stint
year.
as a head coach.
He don't have all his guys in. His the guys that he wants or normally gets to fit his scheme from like Clemson and the defenses he's normally had. So, next year would be like the first year really that he's got his guys. So next year's defense should be probably better.
I mean, like I'm just looking at it
Hopefully,
like last year we averaged 30 points allowed a game. We've only allowed 30 points twice this
yeah.
season, so it's
It's
it,
definitely been
it's
a
definitely
huge step
better.
forward.
I think Venables has a long ways to go as a head coach
Oh
because
yeah,
like some of these Levy calls, like the head
he
coach
should be
can
shutting that
over
shit
he
down.
can override it.
Yeah.
He can say like, "Yo, what are you
No,
doing?
we
You're
ain't
running
fucking
it
doing that.
three
That's
times. Like throw it once or something." Like
yeah.
he should step in. He
I
has
think
way too much trust in Levy.
he's probably just a little uncomfortable with offensive play calling. That could be it. Maybe he's just like, he's the offensive coordinator. He knows best. That's it's not my expertise area. let it ride. Um, and it's cost you guys 2 games. So
And I mean, we'll see how we are next year. Gabriel's most likely leaving.
yeah,
Um, a lot of guys on defense are leaving. I'm sure we'll get plenty of transfer portal players in, unless
100%.
we have a top recruiting class. I expect next year to probably be somewhat of a down year, maybe a 3-loss year.
Maybe a similar
Uh,
year.
yeah, or yeah, maybe like this year.
Yeah, 7 and
And then
2.
yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know what you guys' schedule is next year. Well,
I
what fucking
mean,
SEC teams do you guys pull?
we got Bama, Missouri, Tennessee, and Ole
Bam,
Miss.
Bama's probably a loss. Ole Miss. I don't. Is Jackson Dart leaving?
I I think he's staying. Honestly, I haven't heard
If
much
he
about his.
stays, that's probably a loss. Unless you guys get, the next fucking Jesus Christ at quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see what Jackson Arnold is if he
Yeah.
stays. If we fire Levy, we'll see where that goes.
Um, depending on you guys' quarterback situation, it could be a very bad year if you guys just don't get somebody really good. But I'm pretty optimistic. You guys definitely ain't missing out on a bowl game. Like, it's not gonna be that type of year like last year, but it could be anywhere from like 7 wins total to 8, 9.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd say
say
like 7 and 9 is probably where it's looking, unless we really
if
like
you guys
attack
hit,
the transfer portal.
yeah, if Jackson Arnold's like fucking legit, uh, you guys probably compete for that SEC championship. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the thing with Alabama is we do have Alabama in Norman, which I think gives us a little bit
Oh yeah, for
of an
sure.
edge, because all the other ones like Ole Miss, we're going to Ole Miss. Tennessee, we got to play at Tennessee.
Good
I
fucking
think
luck.
I think we got to go to Missouri.
Yeah,
Um,
that's an old rivalry though, which is cool.
I think it'll be really cool because I think if we beat Bama, it'll
It'd
be
be
like the
so
first.
it's so cool. Bama's coming to Norman like that. Have they ever been there?
I don't think they have. I'm honestly like
That's tight. That's dope.
I'm gonna buy closer seats because I think this will be the first time we storm the field if we beat Bama like
Oh
in a long time. Like we
yeah,
haven't
hundred
stormed the
percent.
field since like 20 years ago.
If you guys beat Bama, that's a stone to field moment for sure.
So I'm
Like,
definitely gonna like get close to where I can
so
storm the
yeah,
field.
absolutely,
um,
absolutely,
but yeah, it was a lot to be desired in this game. We'll see where things shake out. It's in a point where you just got to win out, hope some other teams lose.
for sure. And
Florida State, I think you guys are fine. Like you're
nah,
getting
yeah, I
good
did
at some
too.
starters.
Like, there's so this was an interesting game. We were on the road, missing our 2 best receivers. We actually had like 6 players out this game. Like, it wasn't even just the 2 receivers. We had a couple people out. Um, so with the 2 receivers being out, and even like our fucking freshman Hakeem Williams, who's supposed to be a fucking absolute baller. He hasn't really got too much playing time. He was out too, so it's not like we could even just slot him in there and see what he's got. 'Cause he did score that touchdown against Syracuse, but Travis was out in that game, or he'd already been pulled out. So there's no connection there. So it really wouldn't have mattered. And we had fucking Douglas Portier, what the hell the fuck you say his name? Jaheim Bell was getting fucking nothing. Morlock, it didn't do too crazy. That dude's like fucking almost 7 foot too. So you think you think we have these 2 badass tight ends. You think we would be running some like 2 tight end sets in
Yeah,
this game? Maybe use them as extra blockers to get the run game going, which I think we were kind of trying to do. We started trying to feed Morlock the ball a little bit, but like I don't know why we aren't using these 2 dudes more often. Even when Coleman and Johnny Wilson are in the game, like I don't get the process why these dudes are like mismatches against most defenses. Like Jaheim Bell, like he can play anywhere other than like quarterback. I mean, I'm sure he could probably throw the ball too, but dude can play running back. He can play
yeah,
receiver.
receiver.
Like he can block. He can play tight end. Fuck, give him the ball somehow. And I don't know why we weren't doing that this game. We were just trying to run the ball, running into a fucking wall over and over and over. It was, I don't even know when we fucking scored. Second quarter, there was no points until the second quarter on each half. And I was like, the whole first quarter, I'm like, oh my God, we are going to lose. And then they scored first, and I was like, we are going to lose. It was like halfway through, it was like the end of the second quarter when we finally scored. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Uh, if somehow Jordan Travis got 360, looking at the stat line, like it doesn't make sense. In watching the game, like I don't see where the 360 came from, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just like short passes.
Fuck, dude, it was bad. It was very bad. I want to say we got we're a better team. We found the way to win. Cool. We held them to 7 points. The defense showed up, but Pitt's they're fucking they were 2-6 in the coming of this game. Their quarterback is terrible. He's not good. We got lucky. Pitt does not have an offense. If they had an offense, we lose. We lose. I'm convinced we would have lost this game if they had a little bit of offensive capability. We got lucky. It probably should have been 14-0 at this point before that Cypress, stop at the fucking 1 yard line where he pawed the ball out coming from the opposite side, which was just phenomenal. But I thought we were done. I thought we were done. I was like, season's over. That was it. I was stressed. I think this game took some years off my life. I don't know why we keep doing this to ourselves, but yeah, the defense played really well. We still, our run defense still is leaving a lot to be desired for me. We're gonna fuck around and get into a game in the playoff potentially where we're playing against somebody with a badass running back and we're gonna get shit on. Uh, our secondary is, I don't know, but the defense played okay. Offense, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. The play calling was terrible, absolutely terrible, 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 terrible.
I think you guys were super limited in this
We
game.
were. It's like we had one hand tied behind our back. That's what it felt
It's
like.
it's a really weird game because it's like it's a few plays from you guys potentially losing, but it's also a few plays from it potentially just being a blowout on you,
Yeah,
like you guys just whooping their ass. So it's just a really weird game. Because like yeah, if he doesn't get that strip fumble, it's
it's
14 nothing, and
14-0,
then the momentum's all the way on Pitt's side.
and we're on the road.
But then it's like if you guys get one more touchdown at the end of the game, it's 31-7, and it looks
Yeah.
like a way better win.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And then, like, I will say with our two, our two number one and two receivers out there's not like those dudes aren't used to being the number one dudes. Like they're getting matched up against their best cornerbacks. Like they're not used to getting that many looks in a game, having to make these big plays, having the game on their shoulders. Like you got to go out there and make plays. Um, and they just weren't. Like occasionally, like we was getting big plays. Like Travis was having to literally fucking he was just dropping bombs, and they were good passes too. Like he was throwing amazing balls, and like we're lucky these weren't getting picked off because like it would be like one of our receivers that don't fucking play very often. It would be a fucking dime, but they gotta jump up a little bit for it. Something Johnny Wilson or Coleman would have just mossed the fucking dude, and they're just barely jumping in the corner, or the safety, the cornerback's just jumping over them and knocking the shit down. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like jump, do something, make a play. Like
Yeah,
they're just not used to being in that spot. So like I get it. Like I said, I don't know how the fuck Jordan Travis got 360, but dude's goaded.
yeah. I will say like Pitt is a very comparable team to me to Arizona State, where they're
It's a
not
trap
good,
team. Trap
but they
team.
are trapped. Like they did beat Louisville,
Yeah, somehow.
and they beat them pretty good too, from my memory. Like it was like at least a 2-score game or something like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, and Louisville still has a shot at the playoffs, like if they win out.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, I mean, this is a tough game. I mean, you got Miami coming up next. That's a bigger test. Is it at Miami or is it at Florida
Now we're
State?
at home.
Okay, so that's gonna be a lot better of
Yeah,
a
we're 14-point favorites. If
not that Miami's home advantage is much, but
I will, I usually set my baseline for my expected point wins at 17. Um, I'm gonna stick with that. If we don't win by 17, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. This Miami team's not good. But teams keep fucking playing us like it's the goddamn Super Bowl. Which, yeah, by all means, whatever. We need the challenge. It just makes us a better team. We keep having to find ways to win these games, and we do. So it doesn't. I guess I really can't complain. We could have won 8-7. We won. We might have dropped to 5 in the playoff rankings in that case, but as long as we
yeah,
went
I
out,
saw Joel Klatt actually had you at his like 5.
yeah. Uh,
Would you like disagree with that? That like something that like rubs you the
uh,
wrong way?
at 5, let me double it. Let me take another one. I can't see Michigan being above us. Like that's the one that would leave a bad taste in my mouth. And like it still does. Like they should not,
Yeah,
like
he had Michigan at his number 1.
I get they're winning every game very convincingly, and that's the only thing going their way. But there's this big fucking question mark next to all those wins. So it's like, but there's not nothing's completely concrete proof yet. So like whatever, but yeah, if we would have won like 8-7, yeah, put us at fucking 6, sure, whatever. But we can win every game by 1 point. We would probably still make the playoffs. So we just gotta find ways to win, and we do. We keep getting tested every fucking week. The goddamn the refs, fucking Christ, the ACC hates us. I'm convinced they hate us because the goddamn refs. It's not even close. The the treatment.
Yeah, I didn't even really realize that until I think it was the Duke game. Like I
It's
watched that.
bad, bro. It's so bad. The holding's the biggest thing. They refuse to call holding against us or for us, should I say?
When I
Uh,
think about this Florida State team, like when I think about like the past two like undefeated regular season Florida State teams, the 2013 and 2014, this team reminds me a little bit more of the 2014 than
yeah,
the 2013. Like
absolutely.
they're kind of scraping by wins, but they're
Yeah,
still finding a way to get it done. Now
and
it's just a question.
we might get blown out in the playoffs.
That's what like when it gets to the playoffs, how do they look? And I mean, it just depends on who Florida State gets matched up with.
I would
Uh,
say Jordan Travis is a little more consistent than Jameis Winston.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say Jameis lost us that game. To be fair,
yeah.
that absolutely.
Well,
Uh,
and Jameis is just like off the field antics were like a big problem that year as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
Which you don't have that this
We're
year.
fucking locked in. If I had to pick like one word to describe like this team, it would just be like passion. Like that. If I had to say like everybody's like passionate, everybody's bought in, everybody's locked in. We had dudes, Jared Verse, for example, who was projected to be like a top 10 pick in the NFL last year. He came back. He didn't have to come back. He came back to play with this team and for this team, and like with these dudes. Like that don't happen that often. Like these dudes are passionate about this team and they're passionate about bringing this program back and about us winning, and we are like Norvell has them fucking locked in. Um, yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the year. We got a relatively favorable schedule. We got Miami and then
Some
there's
random
some random team and
school
then
and then
Florida.
Florida.
The Florida game concerns me a little bit, but this Miami game, I'm really not. I'm not as nervous as I was for like Duke or Clemson. Who else? There was another game I was like, fuck. Syracuse for some reason. I was nervous about that game, but
Well, they were good last year, so I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I'm really not. And then we got Miami at home, but we got Florida on the road.
Florida
Uh,
just got beat by Arkansas, so
yeah,
I
so
mean it's
we
like
we should we should blow all three of these teams out. It should be a blowout.
then you got Louisville, and that's going to be probably the toughest task of the
Yeah,
season.
exactly. You know, if we win the ACC championship at a minimum, I'm happy. That's a win for the season for sure. If we make the playoffs and we get fucking blown out, so be it. We made it. We made it. As long as we're like semi-competitive, you know, like we don't show up and pull the Notre Dame against Alabama or last time Washington was in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Something like that, or Cincinnati. Like
Yeah, I mean as long as it's like somewhat
as long as we
competitive.
show up, we score some points. Yeah, we don't just allow 45 type thing, you know, like cool.
I think it really just depends like on the matchup. Like I think Florida State beats Texas if it comes down to that. I don't know about Michigan yet or Ohio State. Like those are still big question marks for me. Uh,
Coming into last week, I was only worried about Ohio State. Now not so much. Now I'm worried about Washington.
I think Washington's probably your worst matchup just
Fuck
between the two
yeah.
teams.
But I mean we could score against that defense, but I don't know if we can score consistently that much.
I'd be a little bit worried about Oregon too,
But
just because that was last time.
our defensive line pass rush is very good. Very good. As long as we don't run into a really good run heavy team, like Washington last week, but like they're normally not like that. So, and Michigan hasn't really been that. Ohio State a little more so. Georgia not as much, and then Oregon they do got a good running back. Uh, Texas I ain't worried about fucking Texas at all
Texas does have
if
a
they
good
make
running
it.
back, but I think if you guys sold out on the run and
We're
forced
gonna make
Evers
Murphy.
or Murphy or whoever's in at the
Yeah,
time,
no chance. Bama, they would fucking Jalen Milrow would fuck us in the ass with his legs. There ain't no way we stopping that man. That we fucking suck at stopping mobile quarterbacks, and they've been cooking us all year. We probably would have lost to Duke if Riley Leonard was healthy, realistically. So I'm optimistic, but
but everybody in the
every
top set or top eight basically has looked beatable at some point this
oh
season.
yeah,
So.
absolutely.
I mean, I would say the top eight's your like real contenders. Although, you know, you got Ole Miss, Penn State, Louisville kind of hanging out. Like if they can win out,
Yeah, we'll
obviously all three of those teams are
we'll see
contenders as
about Ole
well.
Miss and Penn State this weekend. They probably both drop off realistically. They'll be gone, and then it'll just be Louisville.
It's like a game of musical chairs at the end of the season is what it always feels like.
You got anything else you want to touch on or say about anybody? Oh, I will say we was talking about Ohio State Rutgers. Did you see that fucking the fumble Ruski that they ran?
That was smooth.
Dude,
They fell for it hard.
that shit actually pissed me off though. I was watching the replay of that. So they hit I think it was that play. They hit that receiver and he was taking it to the house. And the other fucking receiver that was with him was like celebrating, and the fucking
It
player was
wasn't
like
blocking. Wasn't
running.
blocking.
If they
Yeah,
would have blocked him, and then he would have scored, and the game would have been completely different. They probably would have won.
yeah. That
I'm
was
like,
a clear misblock.
whoa, what the fuck are you doing? The dude ran his ass down because you're sitting there fucking off. If I'm the coach, I'm fucking shitting on that one dude specifically.
Man, I hate. There's nothing I hate more than premature
Holy
celebrations.
shit, that dude might have lost them the game. I mean, the pick six didn't help, but like that was before that. They would have had all the momentum. Did
Let's
they
see.
throw pick six in that game? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's the big interception. Well, tonight it looks like we had absolutely nothing noteworthy played, and neither was there yesterday. Tomorrow, Louisville, Virginia.
Hey,
Virginia, I
Virginia
mean,
has fucking been clapping some cheeks. That
could be a potential upset.
I'm actually
Might tune
uh,
into that. I'm getting kind of over Thursday night football, so and it's like the Bears versus the Panthers, so maybe I'll
pass.
tune into that instead.
Fuck that game.
Friday,
Wyoming UNLV
that's a
would
good
be
game.
that's a good game.
I love Wyoming Stadium. I watched part of their game last Friday, or maybe it was last Thursday. Like they have like the way they have their end zone and sideline, like it's all painted brown, like the whole entire sideline.
Yeah,
It's almost like kind of like a Boise State field, except the field's green and the outside's all
everything else is
weird
brown.
color. Yeah, it's really cool.
Hell yeah,
Obviously we got Penn State, Michigan, the big game of the week.
that's
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
huge
I'm
game.
just preparing myself for a letdown basically on that game.
Yeah, it's who knows. Texas Tech, Kansas could be interesting.
I wouldn't count
Kansas
out Texas Tech. They're so
Kansas can definitely be beat here. Apparently Nebraska should be interesting.
two, mediocre teams going at it.
Georgia
Uh,
Tech Clemson is actually a low key, really good game. Georgia Tech beat Miami and North Carolina this year, so I
I
don't
like
see why
Haynes King. I like Haynes King in this situation. I think Georgia Tech probably wins.
I wouldn't bet on this game, but fuck, I don't know. I'd probably go Clemson just because
Arizona,
their defense. Arizona's
Arizona's going to
beating
demolish
Colorado.
Colorado. Did you see Shador is coming back next year? Dion pretty much said there's no reason for Shador to go to the NFL this after this season. So looks like Shador
Yeah,
is going to be right back next year.
if he fucking makes it that long.
If he gets an O line next year, watch out because
Oh,
that's going to be a problem.
that's a Heisman gimme right there.
That's like at the very least, like even if their defense is terrible, they're going to be like USC at the very least if they get an O line.
I might like see kind of either the transfers in the O line portal, see who they pick up. I might lock in like an early Shador Heisman bet for like $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should be up there right now, but they've lost like 5 games. His stats are up there with everybody else. Dude, he gets sacked like 6 times every game. Um, undefeated James Madison should blow UConn out. And then we got the big time rivalry, Miami, Florida State, Utah, Washington should be interesting, but probably not.
Tennessee, Missouri is a really good game. I think Missouri probably beats them pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, I would bet on Tennessee or not Tennessee, Missouri here. OSU should beat the shit out of UCF.
Watch out for UCF though. They
Yeah,
do have a pretty good offense.
their quarterback makes a lot of bad decisions though. I mean,
And they have a they're at home. They have a good fan base. I mean, I think OSU wins, but watch out for UCF.
I might take the spread here on OSU. Whatever it is, I might take it.
Iowa, Rutgers. Give me Rutgers in that game.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
I mean, like Iowa can't do anything on
Iowa can't
offense,
score a single point. They suck. That
and
offense
Rutgers
is
defense is
terrible.
like reasonably good.
Da, da, da. Ole Miss, Georgia. Please, Ole Miss. All the goddamn Georgia good games are at home. Shit's annoying.
Like I'm rooting for Ole Miss, but I mean, I think we all know deep down in our hearts, Georgia's
Ole,
gonna win
Ole
this
Miss ain't got
game.
no defense.
There's no chance.
This game might end up in like the 40s, like a little shootout, maybe. And there ain't no way Ole Miss scores 40 on Georgia.
Watch out
That's
for West Virginia against Oklahoma. I think OU wins. But just watch out. They're on a downward trend right now.
yeah. Ain't no way Ohio State loses. No way Texas loses.
Unless Sonny Dykes has something up his
Uh,
sleeve.
if Jaden Daniels ain't playing here, Florida probably wins.
Yeah, if there's no Jaden Daniels, if Jaden Daniels is playing, it's a blowout on LSU side.
I think Riley Leonard's done for the year, so Duke's not winning that game.
Don't count out USC. I
No,
really think
absolutely,
USC has a
absolutely not.
very good shot of winning this game
I actually might just pick USC to win that game.
because I think they don't have Alex Grinch. Maybe these guys that have been sitting behind like have something in mind to like kind of slow Oregon down. Obviously, they're still going to be a bad defense,
Maybe
but
the,
like,
the
maybe it could
new
be slightly better.
maybe the interim defensive coordinator's got a better fucking scheme, better play calling. Maybe get the players fired up, kind of like that the Raiders interim coach. Like everybody's like immediately, it's like a new team. They're all locked in.
No, honestly, like realistically, USC needs to stop Oregon what 3 times to get a win, probably.
Fuck, maybe not even that. Maybe once, because I'd say twice, because I'd give Oregon 2 stops against USC. That fucking offense is stupid. Caleb Williams is ridiculous. As long as he don't make bad decisions, and it's not like a Notre Dame game. I would say Notre Dame probably has a better defense than Oregon. Um, but they do have a solid defense. Oregon has a solid defense, so I don't know if they could stop Bo Nix and Oregon like at all,
It, it
unless
it really just depends on what does this interim coach do? Does he have anything different to offer? It's co-interim, I think.
yeah, there's
Two
two of them.
guys. So I'm like,
Do something.
do they have anything up their sleeves? I mean,
And
I
Bo Nix
think the
is
USC players are excited. I saw like one of the top cornerbacks immediately signed with USC as soon as
oh
Burns
yeah.
got fired. Like it was like within like an hour he like committed to USC. So maybe the
Yeah.
guys will be fired up.
And I mean, like, and Bo Nix is mobile too. He runs. Penix didn't run at all, so that's another factor they got to take in consideration.
Yeah.
That dude got wheels. He's fast.
Yeah, I mean, other than Shador, this is probably the second best quarterback they've had. Well, I mean, Penix, but like as far as dual threat,
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
probably.
this is probably the next biggest challenge they've had this season.
Actually, I'm not taking USC to win this game. I could see Oregon winning by like 20.
I think, I think Oregon's gonna win, but you can't count out USC with
No,
Caleb.
you can't. But I'm gonna pick Oregon to win.
I think it's gonna be like,
I hope USC wins.
I think it's gonna be like 45-35 or something like that.
I could see like 45, like 24, really something
I
like
mean,
that.
that's possible too. I'd like to
Um,
see USC get the win. I mean,
yeah, me too.
I rooted against them for so long, but they're in the position where they could cause some chaos, and I would love to see Oregon get knocked off.
Yeah, because then it would be, I think, Oregon State and Washington for the Pac-12.
Yeah, if Oregon State could beat
But then Washington
Oregon,
plays them, so then Oregon State would have two losses. Oregon would have two losses. So, and then Oregon and Oregon State would be whoever the winner of that would be would play Washington, which would be kind of cool. So then like Oregon State or Oregon would play Washington again for the Pac-12. More than like it's probably gonna be one of those two teams. I think Utah's out because they're probably gonna lose this weekend, pick up that third loss. USC's got three losses. USC or UCLA's got two now. Maybe three.
I think USC has four now, and UCLA has three now.
Let's see.
Let's see, USC lost to Notre Dame, Utah, Washington.
Yeah,
Maybe they
UCLA is not even ranked anymore. I'm pretty sure they got four.
who else did USC lose to? They lose somebody else. Am I tripping? Like
Not
I
passing.
feel like they have four, but I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. Let's see. No, they have three. Okay. So,
Yeah.
no, they almost lost to Cal. It was like 51 to 50
Hey,
or
like
40-50.
Arizona might sneak up in there because if USC beats Oregon, Oregon drops down, they'd probably still be above Arizona. And then if like Oregon State beats Oregon, they would drop out. Arizona would move up. They kind of need USC to lose again. Arizona's in a tough spot.
Arizona doesn't look like they can make it because it looks like if if USC beats Oregon, they have two losses.
Yeah,
So then it becomes like Oregon State versus Oregon to get into the Pac-12,
that's kind of what I
or
was
maybe
thinking.
Utah. Maybe there's like some weird tiebreaker between Utah, Oregon State, and
Yeah, USC has
uh,
three.
Oregon.
Arizona, and fucking Arizona State.
Yeah, they have no. It looks like they have like no chance of making the Pac-12 championship.
If they didn't lose this fucking game, that would be a little better for them, maybe.
If they could have just pulled out that USC game, they'd be in
True
really good
that.
position.
Just if they didn't put Fafita in earlier in the year, he'd have had some momentum going into that game. They could have beat Washington too.
Now, how
Realistically,
close Arizona is to being a playoff team is like
this
actually crazy.
is fucking crazy. The fact they got Trey Benson on here and not fucking Jordan Travis is crazy to me. Like, yeah, he's our best running back, arguably, but man, come on.
They said, you know what, we're gonna put Quentin Ewers on this poster,
That
but
motherfucker ain't played in like 4 weeks. I don't know if he's coming back.
oh yeah, speaking of Texas, I was gonna mention like Murphy did struggle quite a bit against K State.
They almost
Uh,
lost.
I meant to mention just like that whole game because like what the fuck was Will Howard doing on that last play? Like that dude is such a scrub. Um,
I didn't even watch this game. I turned this shit off. What, he
I
throw an
thought like
interception or some shit?
well, it was like they went to overtime
Oh,
and then
they tried to fuck. Yeah, it was overtime.
and
They
he
went for.
tripped like he like and then he just like threw it up. I'm like, why did you guys run that play first off? I'm like, why? Like Will Howard, do you have any like awareness?
He had a great. I mean, it was like 50% passing completion, but
No, he had a good
ah,
like overall. He had a good game. Murphy though, if he
mm,
gets thrown off his game at all, it's bad. And I'm assuming Archie Manning is just really not ready
no, he's not. There's no way.
because last week was a game where you might consider putting him in after Murphy's second interception.
If they get up big in any of these games, I think he comes in to play.
I think
Like 3 scores, I think they put him in
Iowa
just to kind
State
of see.
Iowa
Iowa
State
State
is a
could
tough
beat
one, and
them.
Texas Tech's a tough one too, because like Texas Tech is almost like Texas's OSU. You know what I mean? Like they beat them, you know, like every so often.
Iowa State might be the biggest trap team in the Big 12 like every year. They will beat anybody.
Their crowd is crazy, and they're playing at Iowa State. That's a tough place to play.
They don't. It don't matter how good of a season you're having or what the fuck's happened to you. Remember when they beat OSU after that fucking bus crash or whatever the fuck, and then
Plane crash.
they was like projected to go to the fucking championship. They were like, oh fuck it, fuck OSU, we're gonna beat them. Like, damn, have some sympathy, bro.
No, it was pretty messed up because I remember OSU finished three, like because it was BCS era.
They should have
It,
still got in.
it
It
and
was the
Alabama,
Alabama
Alabama and
LSU.
LSU played
The
again
game
like
was
a
fucking
rematch.
terrible.
Uh,
I think OSU probably would have won.
Brandon Whedon and Justin Blackman were looking pretty crazy
That
that
team is
year.
nasty. Yeah,
Like
Fuck Iowa State, man. They robbed us of a much better championship game.
if
Might not have won, but Jesus Christ, they had no sympathy. Come on now.
if that plane crash didn't happen, I don't think OSU even comes close to losing that game.
No, no chance. Yeah, Iowa State, they will beat anybody. They don't give a fuck.
It was
But
Texas. I need a loss from Texas. I need a loss from Kansas,
it's
so I
dude.
could get that rematch against Oklahoma State.
Honestly, like if you guys rematch them, and it's a neutral site,
Yeah,
so
it's a Jerry World, Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
yeah, I think you guys probably win in a neutral site. But if you guys play them again at home, like if you guys had to play again in Stillwater, I think they'd probably win again.
Yeah, I don't think their fans would travel as well to
I don't know,
Dallas.
maybe.
Norman's closer, and there's just more Oklahoma fans than there are Oklahoma State fans.
Yeah, there is.
And there's Oklahoma fans in Texas, like the north part of Texas. There's a lot of OU fans.
Yeah. I don't
Probably not
know.
going to happen though. Probably not going to happen.
We ain't got a huge slate of good games this weekend, but there's enough
These are the type of weekends though where it ends up
where
being
all
like the best
the
weekend.
fucking crazy shit happens.
Like, oh, this is
And
gonna
like
be the worst weekend of the season. Like,
four ranked teams lose.
I don't even really want to watch Michigan Penn State. Like,
I'm not
if
even
if I'm
watching.
headed in Norman early, like, I'll probably watch like first like hour of it, and if it's close, maybe I stay.
Yeah. If we were playing at the same time slot, I ain't fucking looking at that shit. I'm locked in on us massacring Miami at home. And eh, if we ain't fucking spearing the shit out of everybody on that goddamn offense every play, I'd be disappointed. I want one drop kick from somebody to the face mask.
Antonio Brown style.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the punter. Fuck his shit up. I want at least one good roughing the passer, just blindside, just boom, fuck his shit up. Yes, this is a big rivalry for us. Fuck Miami. I'll say that. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. I
That would
hate
be
Miami.
that'd be such a terrible loss of
Oh my
Miami.
god. I I I might
If
not
it
watch
was
it.
if it was at Miami, I'd be a little bit nervous with Florida State, but with it being uh at Florida State, I don't think it's gonna be it.
If we was in Miami, I'm probably not gonna watch the rest of the year. I'm going into hiding. I mean, we're already locked. We're already we already are already in the ACC championship. So like we could lose the last 3 games and still have a successful season, I
Still
guess.
get a
If
New Year's Six bowl, yeah.
still win the ACC, but no, what the fuck? Like losing the last 3 games? There's no way. It's physically impossible. We're not losing the last three. We would at least win that fucking whatever the fuck team we're playing.
And playing for a New Year's Six bowl, like it's cool, but it's not. Like that's where
All the
OU's at. Like if we went out, we could probably play like against like I'm hoping for like Missouri or something and like whatever bowl games available, like the Cotton Bowl or
they're saying like you guys might be able to play like Texas again.
that'd be interesting.
It'd be funny you guys play him in the Big 12 and then play him again in the fucking 3 times. That'd be crazy.
I don't know
I
who they
don't think
compare. So
I don't.
I've heard USC as a matchup, but I don't
Oh
even really want to
God,
play
you
that.
guys, nah, fuck that. You guys would get fucked on.
Nah, I don't think we would
Oh,
because I
because
don't think
Caleb Williams wouldn't
Caleb wouldn't
play.
even be playing and their
Yeah,
defense sucks. So we'd probably just destroy them and it'd just be really boring.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I want like I really want Missouri, maybe Tennessee, maybe Ole Miss, maybe Penn State, somebody Notre Dame, maybe, kind of a comparable
No,
team to where we
loser,
are.
loser, Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, something like that, something
Yeah,
like to give us a good team that we could lose to, but if we win, it'd be like
yeah.
pretty satisfying.
That is one shitty thing with like the New Year's 6 games is like all the players that are projected to go high in the draft, they're not playing. So it's like you're not like really not getting a comparable like
And honestly, like Dylan might not even play that game if he's like trying to prepare for the draft.
true,
So
true.
I
I
mean,
could
like,
see him play though. He's kind of bought into the school. He's like he seems like he's an OU dude. He'd probably play.
yeah, he probably would. I'm assuming almost everybody would play. Last year we had so many guys sit out. It was just like
Just don't make
stupid.
sense.
I'm like, okay,
If you
I
guys didn't
get
have
it.
all those people sit out, you guys probably would have beat us.
It was close. I mean, it was like
It
what
was
38 to
way too
35
close.
or something like
I really
that.
thought we was gonna beat the fuck out of y'all, and then y'all had all those players sitting out. And I'm like, why is this so close? That was a
Yeah, it
great
came
game,
down because like we had the ball with like 30 seconds left, like to
and
like try to
yeah,
drive down the field just to get a field goal, and then I think we got like sacked on fourth down or something.
it was a
Yeah, I think it was
great
Jared.
game.
I think it was Jared Burks that got the last sack.
That was a great game.
It was a fun game. I mean, it was a cheesable, so I wasn't even that mad about losing.
Yeah,
It was just like
and we
cool.
just got to see both of our teams play each other, which is might not ever happen again. Well, I wouldn't say ever, but could be
We
10.
thought it was gonna. We thought it was gonna happen this year.
Yeah, the crazy shit is we called that shit and we was like, this could be a thing. Like 5 weeks before that even happened, we was kind of like, oh, maybe not five, like 4 weeks before we was looking at bowl matchups, and we was like, maybe.
Sure enough, and we said the Cheez It Bowl too. Like
Yeah,
we picked the actual bowl
that's
because we're like
so
eight
cool.
versus Big 12. It's going
It's
maybe,
gonna be the Cheez Bowl.
and sure enough, the Cheez It Bowl, Oklahoma, Florida State.
I still can't believe we did that.
Well, I mean, I guess if you guys lose, we could rematch.
Yeah, probably. Well, now because we would more than likely go to the Orange Bowl because
Oh yeah,
that's where everybody's projecting Louisville to go because I guess they're projected to lose to us, and I think the majority of the teams are projecting them against Ohio State in the Orange Bowl.
okay.
So
So
we would have to
it's gonna
we
be like the
we
loser of the ACC versus the loser of Ohio State
I think
or
so.
Michigan, probably.
So we'd have to lose twice probably for us to be even in contention to probably play you guys. And
Yeah, I don't think, and also I don't think they would do the same matchup 2 years in a row.
I mean, I'd be down for it.
I mean, it'd be cool.
I would go. I would probably go again.
Yeah, I'd probably go too.
Hopefully it's closer this time. Like
Yeah,
18-hour drive is fucking tough.
hopefully it's like the Kansas Bowl or something. Like that's probably not even a thing. Like it's at Arrowhead or something. Like,
Hey, that'd be tight. Be tight.
yeah, I think
Well,
we're kind of
Yeah,
wrapped up for the
that's it for the
episode.
week.
So we'll catch y'all next week. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.